if I do.
Covino and Rich.
Are you ready?
Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready.
You heard all about it on the radio.
Whoa! Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! And holy mother meatball!
I'm the smartest man alive! You're so ridiculous. What? You're such a fool. Get out of here.
Oh, I'm a disc jockey.
What's a disc jockey?
Turn it up. You're in the show.
Here we go. Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
So the first question today, was it worth giving up your family to lose to the Cowboys in the wild card? Was it, Tom? He hates his family, right, Spot?
Spot give you a Told you.
Hates his family.
Everyone
Rich
ignored
is coming
me.
in hot.
Everyone laughed at me. Spot doesn't know about sports. Told you he hated his family. Yeah, really didn't show up last night.
No.
Congrats to the Cowboys.
Worst game.
You guys move on. Yeah, it was a snore fest. Hope your Monday night was better than that. Better than Brady's. It's Covino and Rich, and we rocking out. Let's go.
You want to know the reality, though? The reality is that Tom Brady goes to
Eat my butt.
Vegas, Tennessee, Miami, somewhere next year, and he wins again. Not the Super Bowl, but he'll be a winner next year. He's not done. You don't give up everything and condition yourself and say farewell to your wife and go through all that to be like, I'm done now.
I'm excited to see what's next.
Oh, it's always exciting.
So I hope your day was better than his, better than Brett Maher's, who still has a job, by the way.
I feel like I had a Tom Brady sort of Monday.
Did you?
I don't know.
Got a Tom Brady type of day yesterday?
Tom Brady died.
How many extra points did you miss?
A lot.
Can I tell you, though? It shouldn't be shocking that the Cowboys, who were a better team, beat them. It's just we believe this Tom Brady magic will always happen. And then when it doesn't, it's like, oh, yeah, that team's really not that good.
Not that. You just also don't know what Cowboys were going to show up.
Yeah,
but they showed up yesterday.
Did the Cowboys win because the Bucks suck?
They showed up. They just
Or
played well.
did the
Dak
Cowboys
played well.
win because the Cowboys are good is what you're asking.
Yes.
Spot, every week, the one of the narratives of the NFL this year is that you never know what Cowboys team is going to show up. They're really, I would say, the most unpredictable team in the NFL. They come out and look like a Super Bowl contender, or they come out and look like a shitbag.
Yes.
We're the Bucks.
They couldn't kick worth a
we
shit
came here to
yesterday,
suck.
but they still played well. So congrats to the Cowboys. They move on. Congrats to the Cowboys fans. Chris Rucker, the all-night most sucker, and everybody rooting on for Dallas. Sorry, Tom Brady. Looks like his days in Tampa are done.
Yeah, that's
Says he'd want to stay, though, but he did say his farewells and pretty much put the nail in the coffin, it sounded like. But his season's over.
You got to agree with what Chris Frey says.
I don't have to agree with anybody. But what'd he say?
But I agree with him. You don't have to agree. But he goes, they have no running game to help Brady. They average the lowest rushing yards in the NFL. So you can't open up that passing attack when every time you hand the ball off, it's like -1 yard. Oh, he fucking roughed out at 1.5 yards. It's like 2nd and 9, 3rd and 8. Like, you can't fucking win that way. So
No, it was embarrassing.
Sucks.
So
you know where he'll be good?
Hope you were running more game than that last night.
Good in Miami.
Miami.
You know why?
Raiders. I'm hearing more buzz about the Raiders.
Because you got Jeff Wilson, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Waddle, you got all those weapons, and Mike McDaniel, who likes to keep things like fun and tricky. I think he'd be fucking killing it there. So I think Tom Brady could do 2 years in Miami.
And didn't he want to go to Miami before Tampa Bay anyway? Wasn't that his main destination?
And it sets up the history. 49ers Cowboys next week. Steve Young, Troy Aikman, Joe Montana. The catch was against the Cowboys in 81, 82.
And no one on these teams were even close to alive.
Exactly. But what's your first instinct before we get into all the life stuff? We'll touch on this on Fox
49ers
today.
all the way.
You think so?
Yeah.
They're favored only by 3.5 because everyone saw Dallas last night and said, oh, shit.
Nah,
so I think that might be an opportunity to bet on the Niners, no?
I mean, we'll see.
-3?
The NFL, elite athletes, anything could happen. But 49ers is who I'm going with. But I hope you had a great Monday night. I hope you enjoyed your football. We'll talk more of that on Fox Sports Radio. I know Rich is pumped because he knows who his team's playing now. And this is the time of year where you got to tune in. Spot, you got to tune in.
Did you watch last night, Spot?
Watch what? MILF Manor?
Did you watch Monday Night Football? The Tom Brady's
I saw bits and pieces.
His farewell.
taking on the Bucs, taking
No,
on the Cowboys.
This is the time you have to.
Saw bits
right?
and pieces.
Especially if
Saw
you're
enough
on
to know
Fox Sports
enough.
Radio. But no, this is the time you have to tune in, even if you're a casual fan. People say it to us about
anything.
well, I mean, you don't have to do anything, but then,
You
be out the mix.
hit us up all the time about, gotta watch hockey or college football. I mean, I put it on. I do my part.
I do that to you?
So
So
last night's one of those games you gotta watch.
Yeah, last night was one of those you have to watch. But the matchups next week, I thought about it. I'm like, I think it might be the combo the NFL wanted as far as ratings and matchups. Like, you got the classic Niners, Cowboys.
Eagles, Giants.
Eagles, Giants.
East Coast battle.
Everyone's like, East Coast battle. Everyone's high on Daniel Jones now. They're forgetting that they forget that the Eagles were dominant all year. They're like, oh, Daniel Jones. I think the Eagles are going to whoop the Giants.
Danielson.
And then the rematch of the game that never happened because of DeMar Hamlin, Bengals, Bills, and then the young stud of a quarterback who parties at Waffle House, Trevor Lawrence, against Patrick Mahomes. So if you don't think you have 4 fucking killer matchups next week, it's going to be good.
Can't wait. So thanks for being here on this Taco Tuesday. It is a Taco Tuesday. Ain't that right, LeBron? Speaking of, did you see that clip I sent you?
Oh, yeah, the guy was like telling LeBron, I played with your dad.
My dad played with you in your first game. LeBron's like, for real?
Oh, man.
Sacramento.
Fucking old.
It's like feeling old, motherfucker. LeBron's like, yeah.
So, hey, happy Taco Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
LeBron, old man.
Go Tuesday!
I wanted to just ask you something before you got into the meat of what you did last night and everything going on in the world. How often did you drop Melody off to school late?
Not that often. Why would I? What do you mean?
It's not an accusatory question. It just do you remember those days where you're like,
It's
shit, we're running late?
It's an explain a little bit sort of question.
Yeah, like, do you remember the process of like you're running late? Was your kid ever late for school is my question.
I mean, I'm sure. She's not late with me, though. Late with her mom. But back in the day, not rarely ever. I lived around the corner.
Yeah. No, Emmy woke up this morning and she was, we're all sort of feeling a little like, I told you yesterday, you and I were both saying we had headaches. Like, Emmy was a little like lethargic, long weekend.
I mean, but being
Jeez.
late, I mean, that's a part of life.
No, but I'm saying
Doesn't
It
sound
happens.
everyone was like, I think I instilled a good moral code in Emmy this morning because she was on the fence of whether or not she wanted to go to school. I'm like, well, do you feel sick, buddy? Or are you just tired and a little lethargic?
good. Get your
Because I don't want you to be one of those lazy people in life is what I'm thinking. Like, if you could go to school, go to school. Don't be like, I don't want to go.
are your carbon monoxide detectors up to date?
I'm sure they are. They're
Okay.
They're only we've only
When
been
everyone
in here
the
a
house
year.
when everyone in the house is feeling lethargic, you got to be careful.
So I brought her to school like 15 minutes late. You have to go to the office because the drop-off place is done. You have to go to the office and sign them in a little late. And
Man, I was not even a little late. She got to do that embarrassing walk of shame into the class.
I did remember that. I'm like, oh, she's going to do that walk where everyone's already started their day. And they're like,
Terrible.
hey, Emmy. And she's like, I'm 10 minutes late. I dropped her off at 8:12 this morning when I signed her in. And they're like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. First timer. And I saw the list of kids that are late. And after me, some fucking dad comes in like totally flustered, like, oh, like holding like multiple bags and 3 kids. And they're like, hey, Frank. And I'm wondering, there must be people that drop their kid off to school late every day. Like the people that are never on time for a meeting, the people that are never on time for a dinner date, your friend that shows up 20 minutes after he says to the bar. Are those people bringing their kids to school late every day? Because there was a
there's
fucking list.
So many factors because it's the parent.
Co-parenting sometimes as well. I get it.
It's not even that. It's the kid you got to rely on, too, to get ready. It depends how old they are, right? I could be ready to leave, and I'm fucking sitting there like, Melody, we got to go.
I mean, think about the weekend
and
I
she's
had.
taking her time.
We had a
saying,
pizza.
It's not that deep, Dad. It'll be fine. I'm like, it's not going to be fine. It's traffic. It's raining. What do you know about traffic? We got to go. So it could be the parent. It could be traffic. It could be the kid was taking their time.
Man,
Emmy's on the record now.
I know.
Yeah.
But I thought about it. I mean,
Took her
think,
fingerprints this
think of
morning.
the weekend I had. I mean, we had a casserole party and a pizza party. How'd I
I
expect
just try
the
to,
kids to
as
not
a
be-
parent, I try to not let it be my fault.
It's
ever.
true. She's a party animal.
I know. But my point was,
Listen up.
damn, everyone must be
Sorry we're late.
running way more late than you think.
Love the party in this weekend.
Think about how many times do you know a friend or buddy or coworker that's never on time? Like 7 o'clock dinner. There's people you know in your life. I saw a meme that said if $1 million was on the line, $1 million. And they said you had to make plans with someone to meet for dinner or coffee. And you only won the $1 million if they showed up after the time you said. And you had to pick one person. And I was like, I could pick 10 people. But people, I guess, are perpetually late for things. I was unaware. Ta-da, the end. And then I shit my pants. We can move on. I thought I was going to be one of like 2 names on the list. Like, oh, I'm bringing my kid late. Like we had a rough morning.
Yeah.
You know, that's what he's one of those. Hey, is everything okay? I just had a rough morning. Everyone was a little out of it, but we're good. Oh, okay, cool. Just sign her in there and we'll walk her.
Especially if you got multiple kids, even more of a chance of them being.
Yeah. We'll walk her to the classroom. Have a good day. All right, you too, ladies. Have a good one. And I'm like, I thought it was going to be like me, 2 people. Whole list. I'm thinking all these flustered moms and dads that are like, you know, the same way your wife might not plan your timing for a dinner reservation. There's probably that are like, there's people that are like that every day with their kid at school. Like, you know, they need to be there at 8. It's 7:54 and you're like, don't even have your shoes on yet. You're going to be late.
Now, Emmy can never say the phrase, I've never been late for anything a day in my life.
I know.
You deprived that for her.
Late coworkers don't last long. That's according to Jim. I say that's true unless it's the boss, because the boss, if it's a late boss, they just call the shots. Yeah.
Unless you're in like a corporate environment where like people are checking in with you. I feel like you can just ease into the office.
Covino, do you think it's a good look or a bad look if the boss shows up late? Because it's really he's the boss. So like it's inconsiderate, but like did people hold it against the boss if he's late?
No, because the meeting starts when he gets there.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone once told me that you never see the boss running through the hallways.
Yeah.
And someone else told me you probably shouldn't really care about a meeting, that if you're not on time, it doesn't matter. Like
You're not going to garner any respect. I keep using that word. Shout out to Jennifer and James.
Garner.
And Julia.
You're not going to garner, and Julia, any respect by treating your employees that way. But no, I mean, they can show up whenever they want, unfortunately.
Point is, you said before, traffic, this and that. What about people that have 3 kids and the kids are in different schools? High school, elementary school, preschool. Mom or dad's running around like a
Now
maniac.
that's a horse of a different color.
It's some people are terrible with management of their time.
Yeah, no, I'm one of those guys who wants to be on time all the time. And if I'm late, it's because I wanted to.
Like John Harbaugh the other night. Some people are bad with clock management. I do wonder, though, if you give...
What type of management?
Like the
clock management.
Oh, got it.
Clock management.
Right.
Do you think it's a fair move or not to give someone a fake out time because they're perpetually late? Is that rude, or like, hey, dude, you did it to yourself?
No.
I think
that's good.
Yeah, I think it's good. Like if you make dinner reservations, you always say like 15 to 30 minutes earlier.
I do it to my sister Grace because I know she's always late because she's got 2 kids and a dog, and it's like a traveling circus.
Yeah, it's like, hey, all right, table for 6 at 8, and then you tell everyone, oh, we got a 7:30 reservation.
Yeah, I do that with Grace all the time, and she's still late. And my sister Dawn chimed in a little while ago, and she said something about my other sister. Her kids were late 20 times already.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Not my kid. Promise you that. My kid was late, though, and it affected her grades. It starts to affect your overall point system that they use somehow in the school system. But not one time was she late with me.
Not even that. It sets a bad tone for your day when you're rushing into something.
Yeah.
For kids especially. Like if you're running in and unsettled.
I just don't like that feeling of anxiety.
Yeah,
Let me be.
Right. It sets
I'm fucking leaving early so I could avoid that.
It sets a bad tone.
You know what, Spot? I think there comes a point where when you're late, if you accept that you're late, then rushing around does you no good. Like Emmy was like 8:08. I'm like, all right, you're 8 minutes late. I'm like, we don't have to run to the office. Let's walk because you're already late. So,
but it's really never the
you don't
kid's
want to
fault.
you don't want to like
I told Melody the other day, I was like, are you ready to go? She's like, yeah, then. I'm like, then what do you care? It's not your fault. What does the school expect you to do? You can't drive. It's not Emmy's fault. It's the parents' fault.
Yeah. There's an episode of Abbott Elementary, my favorite comedy, where they had to have a talk with one of the parents because they brought the kid late every day.
Yeah.
Irresponsible
parents. It happens once in a while. Big deal.
It's inconsiderate if
I'm
you're...
sure it's happened to me a few times in my
school,
life.
they
It's
probably-
always a weak feeling, but...
Probably make a bigger deal about it than it is, but there are times in life where if you're counting on someone and they're always late, it's like, dude, you're just being rude to everyone here. There's a guy we play softball with that he's a good player and a really fun guy.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say the game's at 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning.
Like The Last of Us kind of fun guy? Or
No, he's just like a
I
fun
see.
fella. Yeah. He's the type of guy where, let's say the game's at 9 o'clock or 11:30 game. He's always like 10 minutes late. So, we're in the middle of the first inning. It's like, John's here. All right, put him at the bottom of the lineup, and next inning you'll take over. It's like, dude, just show fucking up on time. It's wild. Some people run late. The end. Shit your pants. Moving along.
no, the point is Rich was unaware of how many people.
Yeah, I felt
This is like a one-off thing for
I felt
Rich.
guilty. This was the first time.
And he was muffled to see. That's a whole scene of irresponsible people.
I'm number 42 on the list of late drop-offs today. I thought it was going to be like, sir, you're the only one. You're a piece of shit. And they just made it seem like, yeah, no worries. Just sign in and we'll bring you to her classroom. I'm like, I guess they assume parents are working. They're running around. And you're right. As you told your daughter, Melody, it's not your fault. Can't penalize you. I'm your fucking dumb dad and your dumb mom are the ones that got you late, not me.
As long as she's ready. See, but then, at a certain age, you're not getting them ready. They're getting themselves ready. So there are times where I'm sitting there tapping my toe like, all right, we got to go.
Yeah.
That's frustrating. But then at that point, I don't care because I did my part.
The worst
You
is
were
when,
late.
The worst is when you have a lot of time and you're instead of killing time to get somewhere and you're like, I don't have to be there till 3. And then somehow you end up being late and you're like, I was killing time or something like you don't want to leave too early and then you're rushing like, what happened?
You're better off going and just sitting in your car
Yeah.
if you're going to waste time.
Dean said it best. If it was as simple as just show up on time, but not everyone could understand that.
I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time.
I'll be honest. I'm not going to blame Sarah. Not that she's bad at this, but I'm the type of person. You know what I do every day for Fox just to make sure I'm never, ever, ever late? An hour before we get there, I already check Waze and Google Maps. Like, let me just make sure there's no.
You guys get there late for a
Yeah,
fucking
but-
national broadcast. I'm there sitting there fucking palling around, jerking everybody off, waiting for you guys to get there. For a national broadcast, you show up like barely on time. Both of you guys.
I get there for my responsibility.
Yeah, barely on time. Storming in, stomping his feet.
1:58.
A minute before the show starts. Rich.
Has the video not started on time?
Barely, 10 minutes before, 15 minutes before the show starts.
I get there for my responsibility.
So, just because you get there before it starts doesn't mean you're on time either, in my opinion. On time is like you're there 15, 20 minutes
That being
ahead of
said,
time.
I can't control the traffic on Ventura Boulevard.
So you leave earlier. That's
Nah.
still a bullshit excuse.
Yeah.
Nah.
So you leave earlier. You know the patterns by now. You leave earlier than that. Like just making it, that's not on time.
Yeah,
I'm not,
That's
I'm
just
not starting
making
the
it.
show.
That's just making
I'm
it.
not starting the show.
It's also distracting. It's also, well, what are you contributing? When you're just busting in, this is a general statement. You don't have to take it personal. When you're just
true, though.
busting
Like, when
in
you're just
right
bust-
before it starts.
When you're busting in right at showtime, it sort of gives the impression like, what is
if
he
the square
contributing?
shoe fits, you could wear it. But
This guy's barely in
making
studio half the time I get there.
That's what I'm saying.
Who?
It's a
You?
general statement.
I show up at like 1:35 every day.
Yeah, but you're like
It's
out
still-
chatting
you
with
gotta be
Biff.
on
in the,
time. On time to me isn't just making it. On time means like you
Yeah.
got plenty of chill time to get situated. Otherwise, it's frantic, and I don't like that frantic feeling. Period. I mean, but everybody rolls different. That's the other thing. Everybody rolls different.
Tell you
Yeah.
what, you come sit with me for the 2 to 3 hours after the show.
That's
not my job.
That's not his job. That's the biggest
Exactly.
disconnect. You guys
And
need
it's-
to sit down and
No,
have
no, no.
a fucking whiskey and talk about you always saying
Right.
that Covino
Me?
needs to do your job.
Well, no. If he's gonna criticize when I show up,
It's a
it's
general
like we have
statement.
different.
It's a
we have
general
diff-
statement.
Well, we have different jobs. So
Okay, yeah,
all I'm
that's
saying.
100% true.
Well, that's all I'm
I'm
saying.
not going to disagree with that.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
We have different jobs.
But
So I show up when I show up.
just because you made it before it started, that doesn't mean you're on time.
Like
You know?
if- yeah.
That
if
just
I
means
get-
you fucking barely made
You're
it.
there.
That means you barely made it.
My wife and daughter are habitually late. A lot of people saying that lateness, this is something I think everyone deals with because it could be a family member, a coworker. That's the reality. A fucking hobby. You could be playing pickup basketball with your buddies. Hey, we're all going to meet at the park at 3. There's always one jerk off that shows, hey, I'm on my way. I'll be there. I'm running late. I'll be there at 3:20. You're like, it's at 3 o'clock. I'm you know me, I'm a stickler for what? Movie times, tip off, first pitch, kickoff. I get the nervous farts if I'm late for any type of performance.
Yeah, I'd rather leave early. Like Mr. Furley. Been saying it for years.
Now
You ever
flights,
see that guy late?
flights, knock on wood. I've only been late, I think, for like one flight in my life, and it was because of a layover was delayed. But
Other
I
people
get- I-
people have made me late.
I get fucking nervous stomach driving to the airport, but you don't want to go too early, but you don't want to be fucking rushing to your gate. It's all a big balance of trying to get just the right time. Because there are people that are like, I packed a week in advance and I left 4 hours early for the airport. I don't think I could do that.
Well, it's a whole scene of late people.
What do you do all there? What do you do at the airport all that time? Just sit.
Sit at Vino Volo. Have a fucking glass of wine. Sarah's favorite airport place.
I know that place.
Vino Volo.
So anyway, be on time. It's not that hard. We're adults, right? Be on time.
You know,
And,
Nicole had a...
don't be a bad parent, really.
You know, Nicole...
Don't be a bad... what's the word I'm thinking of?
Bad example.
No, bad example for your kid.
Yeah.
Bad boonie?
A bad boonie? Don't be a bad boonie. You know, Nicole, star of Have Kids, they said, she had to fire a babysitter, but like for real, because the babysitter kept saying shit like, yeah, I'm on my way. And she's like, no, I hired you to get here at this time because I have to be somewhere. Like, that's the worst person to be late. If you're childcare, it's like, yeah, you got to be here at 9 because guess what? The only reason you're here is because I need to go somewhere. So there's no one worse to be late than a babysitter. But babysitters, yeah, I'm running 20 minutes late. Well, then aren't you doing like the exact opposite of the number one priority of your job? Watching my children?
Millennials.
Ugh.
Weenials.
Chris White Sox
They don't respect your time or your clock.
said he loves getting to the airport early. No rushing. That relaxing feeling.
You mean Chris Holes in his socks? Chris,
That guy.
Chris Droopy Tube Socks? What's up, Chris?
They're definitely droopy.
Droopy ass tube socks. What's
Yeah.
up, Chris? Gray socks?
Like
'Cause he hasn't washed them?
Imagine if you had to hire a nanny or a babysitter to watch, I don't know, Melody, you needed something. And you're like trying to head to Fox or this or anything. If that childcare person's late, they're fucking fired. Can't be running late for shit like that.
It's not a good look. It shows that, if you're scammering to get there, you're not that important because you got to be there. Like I said before, you never see the boss running down the hallway because they're barely making it. It's Covino and Rich.
You know what?
Don't be late. Be responsible. Be a responsible person. Fucking,
Yeah, don't be late.
I learned that on Pooh's Corner when I was 8 years old on Disney Channel.
Covino.
Responsible persons are people you can count on to come through, to do their share, to do what they're supposed to do. Responsible persons are people you like to have around. You can depend on such a friend I found.
What is this from? This is
Mr.
great.
Dickey. I just told you, Pooh's Corner.
Pooh's
Disney
Corner?
Channel. Early 80s Disney Channel.
You know, I don't know if he's being facetious, but Mauser, I do love.
I could guarantee you without reading it. I'm sure
It's probably facetious. I actually agree. He goes, I like showing up right when the plane is boarding. I agree, but that's risky because to hit that perfect timing, there was probably some nervous farts involved. Because if you get right to your gate and they're like, boom, we're boarding zone 1, you're like, fucking perfect. Let's go. But that
it's a
means
matter of people not caring enough, to be honest. You ever heard of a professional athlete not being there before game time?
happens once in a while and you see about it.
Barely.
Yeah.
Like
You read about it.
ever. Barely ever does that happen. Of course, you heard the examples, but they're there way ahead of time because they care about their job and there's no excuses. They have to be there. If everybody approached their life that way, you wouldn't have these situations and would probably have less accidents.
Responsible persons are people you can count on to come through, to do their share, do what they're supposed to do. Responsible persons are people it's nice to have around. You can depend on such a friend I've found.
Hey, it's me.
My sister Alice was always late.
Oh,
She
sister
made her friends
Grace.
wait and wait till she found them asleep in every chair. Now she's always the first one there.
No, she's not.
Responsible, you can
Are we
count
talking
on
to adults or 8-year-olds? That's what I want to
do
know.
their share, do what they're
at
supposed to
Piglet.
do.
It was Kevin Bush that hit us up with a great statement. Because
I
why do you
think Owl the Owl made the greatest statement of all.
Owly Owl did. I'll keep it at that. But I will give Kevin Bush credit. He said, why do you think they tell people to show up 2 hours plus before a domestic flight? Because the reality is you only need to be there a half hour before. But if you told people that, 80% of people would miss their flight. The reality is if you're not checking a bag, you really just need to be at your gate 15 to 20 minutes before the flight takes off because then the door will close. And
hey, adults.
But be an adult.
Hey, adults listening and maybe just hearing this podcast somehow, some way, because you shared a password or you sent the link to somebody. Be responsible. You're an adult. Set an example for your kid. The end. You know, there's always exceptions. You know, nobody's perfect. I get that. Sometimes you oversleep. It's just the worst feeling ever, so I try to avoid that. But it happens. Of course it happens. I'm not above it, but it shouldn't be happening all the time.
Everyone's been late in their life
Were you
once.
little baby boy?
Just minimize it, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's
I'm
gonna be
not
late.
judging anybody for being late. If you're consistently late, like Rich is describing here,
Yeah.
I think there's something wrong with your personal life.
2 to 8% of people miss flights a day statistically. It's a big window, but you know, you got to think 5 out of 100 people are like, just couldn't fucking get to the airport on time. That's sort of irresponsible. So there you have it. Don't be late.
And remember that song I taught you?
And remember Mr. Owly Owl.
Yeah.
Nothing better than hearing your name at the airport, because that means you're running right on time, according to Mauser. That means you timed it perfectly. Mauser, report to gate 34. We're boarding. You're like, oh, cool. Private invitation. So that was my morning. How was your morning?
My morning? Well, it wasn't raining, so that was a good start.
Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
It's the start of
Right.
something, or are we going to go back to rain in like 2 days?
We don't live in Seattle. This is Los Angeles. Nice to see the sun. So my morning was just fine, and I was on time,
You're here,
and I'm here,
and you're ready to roll.
and I'm ready. I've been ready since first call. So had a good morning, had a nice Monday night, and here we are.
The chance of Maher missing 4 extra points based on the percentage of extra points made in the NFL, Paul hit us up. And he said, statistically, the chance of missing 4 extra points in a row is like 0.000001.
Well, Jerry Jones says his job is safe.
Well, I mean,
no
when
need
you
to worry. They were
Yeah.
actually asking him, like, are you going to be looking for a new kicker? Guy had like a bad night, like the worst night. Clearly it's mental, right? As Dak Prescott said, like, yo, man, I sucked it up last week. I came here and showed up today. You know, I told him he's going to do the same.
Yeah.
That's the guy. That's their guy. Clearly it's in
listen,
his
I
head.
get it. If you don't do your job, you lose your job. But I don't think you could judge any one person on one day. I know that's a kicker's job is very volatile.
Jerry
'cause
Jones
it's like,
said something along the lines like, he's made enough in the past and we know what he's capable of. He's
yeah.
our guy.
What are you going to do? You're going to just
But,
go
I
get
mean,
a
talk about bad nights. Talk about bad nights.
After the second one, you're like, what? After the third one, you were like, what? And then when it was when it was 24-0 after 4, you're like, if the Bucks get 3 touchdowns
That's
or
the
2-point conversions, like you were letting them, you let the Bucks hang around a little bit by doing that.
Gonna cost them against the Niners. Didn't cost them last night. I agree with Jaime. So he got off there. Teammates picked him up.
Yeah,
I got a really dumb story.
the dude missed like, this, the guy's pretty automatic. He's one of those guys you know his name. He's a good field goal kicker. He had a bad day like that. That's like saying if you had a bad show, you were done. Like you're gonna have not every day is gonna be perfect.
I mean, I only know his name because of Patrick Maher, who I thought about last night, and I said, "What happened to that guy? Is he all right? Still at Sirius XM? We used to work with him."
I think I heard him filling in on Sirius XM at some point. I think he was doing something. He's still doing sports radio, I think, or talk radio.
Talk show host we
Patrick
worked with
Maher.
on Maxim. Then he did Cosmo,
Cocktails with Patrick.
Cocktails with Patrick, and then he worked in the sports world, and haven't heard much from that guy in years. So
He's
hope
not on
doing
social
all
media.
right.
He's not on social media.
I
That's
mean,
why.
that doesn't help when you're in broadcasting.
But that's why you probably are like, where the fuck is
Yeah,
he? Because
no.
he doesn't. He'll never even pop up on your.
And then he dated Stassi from Vanderpump.
I think that's what got him off social media.
Really?
Yeah.
Stassi. So,
Stassi.
of course, I know the name Maher, but Brett Maher had a terrible night. No good, terrible, horrible, very bad night. So I had an embarrassing situation last night, like so embarrassing and so typical.
Oh, perfect. I want to hear all that.
No, it's not. It's a non-story, but it's like so stupidly funny.
Cool.
At least for me. Before we get into Rich's meat that he talked about. in the rando news. I have a Mexican word of the day. Lots of fun stuff to get to. Is there a problem? Oh. Extremely distracting. He's sitting here marching.
By the way, statistically, based on that, the missed extra points,
Yeah.
there would never have been. I mean, they come up with a million different prop bets you can make in Vegas, but no one would have no one even have thought to have a bet like that to make. But if there was some type of prop bet, like, yeah, there's gonna be 4 missed extra points, it would have been like bet $10, win millions. Like, that's just to put in perspective
Missed
how,
4?
like, that's
Missed
unheard
4
of.
extra points last night. And like even the announcers were like, oh,
Holy sh!
right. Holy moly.
Moly moly.
Can't believe he did it again. Something must be going on. Nobody knew what to say. But especially like Monday night, big stage, prime time playoff game like that. Embarrassing.
Yeah.
So speaking of embarrassing,
Yeah.
perfect. Melody went to a ski trip with another dad. I told you about this, right? And 7 kids. And I told her, Melody, I'm giving you some of my ski stuff. Don't lose it. This is dad's ski stuff. These are my prized ski possessions. These are part of my old employee bonus. Because they never paid me in bonus
I'm
when I
being
worked
serious.
in terrestrial radio. They paid me in like gift cards to ski shops.
Got to be honest. Do you
Yeah.
really put unnecessary value on things when you tell Melody?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like your 20-year-old, like,
It's not all 20-year-old stuff. You know, some of it's new.
Okay.
But I was giving her like, certain things like this is for your neck. Got to put it on. Keep your neck warm, right? Just those neck warmers and things like that. But this is my shit. Like this is my stuff that I use. And, I might be using it this weekend. This is my stuff. It's my ski gear, okay? It's always been my stuff. And I probably need a new coat, but everything else is good.
when it comes to those things, by the way,
Masks and everything.
call me
Scullies, beanies, whatever you call them.
call me Cheapskate McGee. But if I was a regular skier or snowboarder where I went every weekend, like let's say I owned,
But then you're not comfortable and you're not having a good time. You're cold.
no,
you don't want to be cold.
No, I'm saying if I were the type of guy that like, oh, I have a place in Big Bear. I have a winter house that I have a cabin and I go up every other week or so. And, I snowboard or ski 10 times a year. Then I would probably get all the dopest gear. But the snow pants I found when we just went snow tubing, they're just like basic snow pants. I probably bought them at Modell's in New York
Nothing wrong with
15 years ago, but they're just basic black snow pants. And I'm like,
That's fine.
Sarah bought like a snowsuit and the kids, they're like hundreds of dollars. Like think ski shit, by the way, just for the record.
I didn't say
Fucking
you had to
preposterous.
look like a stylish snow bunny. You just have your gear that you need for these moments.
I'm just saying that those type of things are way more expensive than you think.
I mean, the pants I bought Melody were like $30.
Oh,
They're just ski pants, right? So you don't have to buy a full-on designer outfit like Calvin Klein's snow outfit. So the long story short is like, hey, I got this mask. This is an Arnett. Pretty sure it's Arnett. Arnett mask. Don't lose it.
Oh, the Will?
This is Dad's mask.
The Will edition?
I got a bunch of them.
She had a Will Arnett mask?
No, but if she wanted to wear a mask, like this is my stuff. Don't lose it. I'm giving it to you. This is my ear thing. Don't lose it, but it'll keep you warm, right? These are my things. Yeah, Dad, don't worry. Melody, I'm going to give you 2 pairs of thin-insulated socks. These are mine. These are Dad's. You're going to be with teenage kids. There's going to be Fritos everywhere, and everything's going to smell like feet and socks. Don't lose my socks mixed with other people's stuff. You got it? Yeah, Dad. It's not that deep. I
I agree with Melody. It's not that deep. If she did lose your fucking hand warmers,
Be fucking responsible. Didn't I
get
just
it.
play you that song? It's not that hard. I'm giving you this stuff. Bring it back. These are Dad's things. Dad's things. You want to fuck around with your things? Go right ahead, but don't ask me for more shit. My stuff, I want it back. Okay? So I had like a whole little bolsa, like Gary Brolsma. Had a whole little bolsa of things like these are things you can use, stay warm. And I got her own stuff too, right? So I threw a few pair of thin-insulated socks into the bag. And yeah, they're huge on her, Andrew. but they're going to keep her legs warm, right? They go up to her thighs probably. But these are no joke.
Thigh-high socks.
Hold on. Now I have a few pair, okay? I have a few pair of insulated socks that I use only for skiing. What makes them great? They keep your feet warm and there's no fucking worries and you don't need to wear like 3 pairs. You're wearing like 3 pairs of socks. It's not how it works.
Is it true you sat down, Melody, and played that Owly Owl song?
I did. Well, I should.
Melody, listen to this. This song will explain it all.
Dad even has a dance to it. Are you ready?
I had a cousin,
Oh.
Owly Owl, who made a mess
With
of
every towel.
till the day he learned to scrub.
Now the dirt goes in the
Now
tub.
the dirt goes in the tub.
You really remember these lessons.
Responsible persons are people you can count on to be neat. They know it's right to be
Spot, stop
polite
this.
to all
I'm
they
convinced
meet.
now the reason why you're OCD and you're a pretty neat guy
From the
is that
song?
your mom was like, keep watching. And you
gotta
probably
tell you.
watch this.
I got to tell you,
It's
I
like,
was older, right?
Yeah.
Hold on. What year is this? Because I was older when this came out, right? But I heard the
Clockwork
song.
Orange. It was
I heard
like-
the song and I pointed at the TV. I'm like, you know what? This fucking owl's onto something. Rich just dropped his water
Yeah, I dropped my water.
everywhere.
Oh, God, it's leaking.
It's leaking. Watch everything.
Back to the song because that wasn't very responsible now,
That was
was it?
poorly responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah, responsible people do not spill their water.
They do not.
Responsible people don't eat a little piece of cake during the show.
Not nice to have this guy around.
Depend on such a friend I've found.
Can't depend on that.
So do
Everything's
your
wet.
chores, then play outdoors. Have lots of fun. But when you're done, remember to put your toys away. Be a responsible person today. Responsible persons are people you can count on to come through. To do their share, do what they're supposed to do.
This is like a 7th inning stretch.
Yeah, no, just keep it playing. People like
you
it.
can depend on such a friend. Depend on such a friend.
let's wrap it up.
Depend on such a friend I've found.
All right, we're good.
By the way, I haven't seen or heard that song since 1983. But I remember that shit.
That's insane.
I didn't even know it was on YouTube.
That's insane.
The fact that you remember it.
I remembered it because it fucking was true.
I had to
And
find it.
I was also bewildered as how like I loved every lesson in that song. And my sister Grace was the exact opposite. I'm like, Grace, listen.
Your
My sister
mom.
Grace was the biggest mess.
Oh, the lights.
She's great now. But that was OG Disney Channel Pooh's Corner. Like we're talking when the network started.
Oh, I bet that shit looked old
Yeah,
as
that
hell.
shit's old and whack. And it wasn't even like for me. It was from like my sister's generation. I was a little older, like maybe like 11, 10. I don't know. But I remember it. Because you remember how kids watched things over and over again. So you would absorb these things. You hear them all the time. Like, that's a good song, man.
But you
I
know
like
what?
that one.
We watch things over and over because it's also comfort. Like, I realize that we're at the point now where we're starting to watch like reruns of Bluey and certain shows. And I'm like, oh, we've seen this one. But the kids, when you're a kid, you like watching it again. You're like, oh, this is that one. So, yeah, well, you probably watch that shit hundreds of times.
That shit hit me right here.
Responsible person.
I never liked that one because he was a boring fucking asshole, right? But, you know, I said, you know what? He's got some good lessons, that guy, though.
Owly
I
owl.
was more of a, because each character represents some sort of mental disorder. It's how the show works.
Yeah.
Look it up. Look it up if you don't believe me. So I'm pretty neurotic thanks to songs like that.
Responsible
And
persons.
I take a crazy pride in my belongings. Like, look at this. Look at this pop socket. Look at this bad boy. Ain't just any pop socket. It's fucking my pop socket.
What is it? What is it?
I'm just saying. Like,
Yeah, but what's the design?
So I had.
What's the design?
It's actually a morph of 2 pop sockets. It's all worn in there from me spinning it. So,
Spinning.
long story short is Melody's going on a ski trip. I got her own stuff. But as far as like the other stuff, I said, these are Dad's and I want it back. Got it? Got it, Dad. Got it? Got it. You see this little bag that the mask goes in? I want that back too. I know how kids are. They're going to be like, that's mine. No. Put your shit to the side. Keep your stuff. Don't lose anything. I even said specifically, there's going to be socks everywhere. Don't even lose a sock. You got it?
Jeez, you're pretty,
Kids are messes.
enforceful.
There's 7 messy kids.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, is this my sock or is that your sock? And I know how my kid is too.
SOCKS.
So she comes back and she goes, Dad, I think I gave your like gray insulated like ski socks to the dad. Because I was like, I didn't know who they were, but then I realized they were yours. And I'm like, what do you mean? We had this talk.
Responsible persons. Don't make me watch it. You can count on.
Hold on. It was really like, it was sort of aggravating because we specifically had this talk.
People you can count on to be neat.
Should play this for her.
They know it's right
Melody.
to be polite. to
Melody,
all
have a
they
seat.
What's your punishment?
Responsible
You must watch this for an hour
people
straight.
It's nice to have
It's not that deep, Dad.
around. You can depend on such a friend I've found. So
All right.
So get your dad's socks and be responsible. I'm like, wait, which ones? She goes, the gray ones. I wasn't sure if they were yours, so they looked like big, so I gave them to him. I'm like, you gave my socks to the dad? These are mine. But they're not just any socks, guys. You know, in my mind, they're like $40 insulated, thin-insulated socks.
Not to mention,
$40
In my
socks.
mind.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
not to mention, didn't the dad say like, these aren't my socks?
No, but I gave her 2 pair.
Okay.
Right? She's like, I brought the black pair back. The gray ones, I wasn't sure. And she didn't care, but I did.
Like the fact that you care is mind-boggling to me.
I'm like,
But
Melody.
my socks.
I'm like, these are my ski socks. I bust them out just for this occasion.
So
these
funny.
are right, and I've had them for years, dude.
But these are the things
Hold
that
on.
I get such a kick out of this. But to me,
Oh, bro.
but this one,
Yeah, it
I
bothered me.
wouldn't think about this for 30 seconds.
No.
And I love the fact that you're like this. It just makes it fun.
Bothered
It makes
me.
the show fun.
It bothered me a lot. I'm like, I had these fucking socks for years, and they have a purpose, and they work, they function. Like if I'm wearing just these socks and I'm in a ski boot, I'm good. I don't worry about my feet; they're perfect. You know, my tootsies are never cold, so I know they work. So I like them, and I gave them to my kid because I want her to be warm and comfortable. And she wore them once when we went tubing, even though they were giant and the heel was probably mid calf.
Yeah.
I was like, how did you leave? They're my socks. So it was really just bothering me the whole time. She's like, Dad, I think maybe I did. I'm not sure. Maybe I she's like eased it a little bit. I'm not sure. Maybe I got them because maybe.
it.
So and then I start looking at all the stuff she gave me back. I'm like, oh, my mask, the bag, the black socks, all the neck thing, the ear stuff. Oh, okay. Like, she forgot. She forgot. Melody, you forgot the socks. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Right? She goes, well, I don't know, Dad. To her, again, like you said, they're just socks.
Fucking socks.
But I'm like, they're not. Those are fucking ski socks.
This is where you
Right?
lose me, but go on. I'm like, who fucking socks?
Find you-
$5.
It was
$5.
bothering me
Go
so
what is it?
bad.
What is
I'm
the
like,
West Coast shitty store? What is it? The department, the
Yeah, but
sporting
I'll
goods
never
store.
find those again.
You'll get better, newer ones probably for $5. I bet.
I hate what's burning me is like they're mine and they're there and I want them. Right? And it's like
Psychological.
bothering me so bad.
Psychopath.
The principle of it, because why do I got to buy another pair of $40 insulated socks? They're not regular socks, right? I use them just for this. I keep them with all my ski stuff. I've had them for years for my kid to just fucking toss them aside. I've kept good care of these fuckers for a long time. Just for my kid to not give a shit.
Responsible persons
Right?
are people you could count on to be.
So again, they're not just socks. These are insulated, thin-insulated socks. I'm using thin-insulated because I know you know the word.
Big Five. That's the
Big Five.
Big Five. That's shitty.
So,
the worst sporting goods store
The
in the
long
world.
story short, and I'm sorry about the intermission because Rich had to have his little crumb cake, spill water everywhere, because he's not a responsible person. Sorry to drag it on, but it was really getting to me because I'm like, well, they're there. So I'm like, Melody, so you gave them to the dad, huh? She's like, yeah, Dad, because I didn't know if they were yours or what. I wasn't sure, but now I realize they were yours. Like, how do you realize now but not then? Anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I got to do it. I got to do it.
Can I just stop you?
Yeah.
My thought right now, if you called this dad, you should be humiliated.
for a pair of socks.
I would feel humiliated.
Well, that's why I share the story, because after doing it, I regretted it. But
And didn't you tell me this guy's like,
hey, listen, I know you arranged like this whole weekend for like 7 girls.
He's like a successful
and like you all
guy.
went up to the mountains and like you do, it's like a really fancy place and all that. But let's talk about some socks.
I can't imagine. I'm just putting myself in this guy's shoes. Imagine I took Emmy and a bunch of her little pals on a trip, and one of the dads was like, "Hey, did someone accidentally take a pair of my socks?"
Melody's.
Jim Ramsey wants to know when was my last ski trip. I mean, I went tubing 2 weeks ago when I was in Jersey. I went skiing, every year I've gone since I've been with Jordan.
I'll tell you when Melody's last ski trip was.
And I'm probably going this weekend.
This past weekend because she's never getting invited again.
Yeah. So
don't invite the girl whose dad worried about his socks. So go on. I want to hear this. So
I'm sitting there and it's like stirring inside because I have control of this. I'm like, they're there. It's not like, I know where they are. So I say, he has like a Jewish name. Give me a good Jewish name.
Shlomo Bernstein.
Shlomo. First off, I want to thank you so much.
It's a good start.
Melody had a blast. I truly appreciate you taking them all the way out there and providing some great memories.
You didn't call?
No.
Oh, this is great. By the way, I love the fact that that was a very kind intro. Like, that's
I hear the butt coming. I hear it.
Also,
see, here's the butt.
Melody told me that she had to grab some of your daughter's artwork from the school. And since they're meeting up for that, if you come across these big, ugly, gray insulated socks, they're mine.
No.
Melody said she gave them to you.
Oh, God.
But I actually used them, so I know it sounds stupid.
Oh, you said that? I know it sounds stupid.
But thanks again for your hospitality and patience with all the kids.
To be honest,
honestly,
the way you worded it, I hate it because you did the right thing now.
But
when you all I hear is I'm saying something nice because I need my socks. That's all.
No, because I was very gracious and thankful to begin with.
He's always very gracious and thankful.
Yes, but all I hear is I'm only reaching out to you because I want my socks back.
No, but I'll tell you what, he padded that with so much. What did you used to call it when you would insult somebody but pad it with nice stuff? A compliment sandwich or an insult sandwich? We had a phrase for it. What was it?
I don't remember.
It's like when you're like, hey, you doing a really... Someone asked me how to do this to someone at Fox the other day. Someone goes, how do I tell this person to improve something? And I said, give them a compliment sandwich. Tell them what you want to tell them.
Wouldn't it be in like a criticism sandwich?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the criticism surrounded by the compliments. Like, hey, you're doing a really great job. You know what? Yeah, I really love that you're part of the team. Hey, just one thing. If you could, when you're doing the editing, I think you did it perfectly. I think this is a thank you. By the way, if you find
sincere, and I had already proven that I was sincere because I was very thankful every time I saw him, right? And I even said to him, man, you ever want to do something like this again? I'm your guy. Like, I'm the guy.
I'll help out.
I'm a responsible person. I'll help out. I'm the guy you want with your kids.
I agree.
I'm no worries, and I'll help out.
I agree with Jim. Compliment, issue, compliment. That's the sandwich. Compliment, sneak in the issue, compliment, and to back up Stu on our feedback, 412 CNR show or the in-show chat said this is a very Larry David Curb episode. Like, I could picture, like, Cheryl on an old episode being like, Larry, are you really going to call him about your stupid fucking socks? And he's like, but they're my socks.
They're my socks.
And then in this episode, Larry then sees the guy wearing his socks.
Yeah. Hours go by.
He's wearing my socks.
Hours go by.
Did you ever find my socks?
And
no. And then he sees him wearing them.
I'm thinking to myself, I shouldn't have fucking said that. They're socks. Get over it, dude. What a fucking loser you are. Right? But I already sent it, so it's already out there. And I'm like, and he's not responding. And I'm like, I shouldn't have. Oh. Sure enough, I'm laying there. And later on, he goes, hey, brother, is this them?
No.
Yo, he sends me a picture, and this is when my heart sank, and I regretted my decision even more. Because he sent me a picture of the most miserable socks you've ever seen.
Oh, these aren't the socks?
No, these are my socks. And I saw them, and I said,
these are your socks?
I wrote back, jeez, man.
Oh, man.
I didn't know they were that shitty. Now I'm even more embarrassed.
Well, you're handling it really well. I'll be honest. I would make fun of you, but everything you're typing is fucking perfect.
I can't wait to show you.
I said, yeah, that's them.
Yeah, that's.
I I recognize them.
Wait until
These are the weakest things. Now keep in mind too, I have like
Wait until
2
you see
pairs
these
of
things.
these, so I didn't know that these were this bad.
Wait until you see these things.
Reveal. Here's the reveal.
I don't even want to click on the button. I don't even want to do it. This is how sad it is.
It's so sad.
Ready?
I'm so embarrassed. Oh man. Hey brother, is this them? He lays them out like they were in a ball.
They're
I'm
not
sure.
even gray. Are those gray?
Bro, they look like
They
homeless
look like
socks.
doo-doo brown weak socks.
They look like a homeless man's socks. And then I go, I'm even more embarrassed, but yeah, that's them, right? He goes, yeah, you have to be embarrassed. He goes, LMAO, just messing with you. He says, we washed them. I'll give them to Melody next time we see you. And I'm like, or you could throw them away. I just thought they were better than that. I go skiing a lot. I could always use them. Thanks again. No worries. I got to tell you, I was so embarrassed. I'm like, I'm just going to throw it out there. And then when I saw that, I'm like, oh man, this guy thinks I'm a loser. I wanted those socks so bad that I had to bother this guy. And I'm like, but I had to like fulfill my neurotic behavior and just throw it out there because I wanted them back because they're mine. And then when I saw them, and I'm like, that was the reality I was hit with. Oh man, fucking droopy socks.
Can you
hobo
please
socks.
after the show today? Could you just put that on our Instagram story for Tier 1 people so they can get a look at these bad boys at Covino Rich?
How do you even describe that? The socks that I wanted so badly that I bothered.
As heard on the show, Covino's
Oh, my
legendary
God.
socks.
Yo. But I've had them for a long ass time, but I only wear them like for skiing and stuff, you know? I just was so embarrassed
Like,
that I couldn't control the impulse.
Yo, him and his wife,
it.
I agree with the female. Him and his wife probably got a really great laugh, but like a funny laugh. Like, yo, can you believe Melody's dad's worried about these socks?
Like I have a pair.
I know, exactly.
Like that was their dinner conversation. Like, Melody, honey, what's your friend's name? Melanie? Oh, Melody. Yo, her dad, get this, everybody. He texted me about these socks. Like, they
And he's
made fun of
probably
you.
like, wait, you mean to tell her dad, the big radio superstar, the TV guy? Oh yeah, the guy with the really he has a really nice chandelier. He's bothering me about these socks.
Did you-
Well, wipe my ass with these socks?
Wait, are the
It
heels?
looks like you wiped your ass
It
with
looks
these
like
socks.
the heels. Can you zoom in on the heels? Are the heels shedding? I feel like they're fraying.
I believe me. When I saw them, I didn't even want to look.
Yo, they look like the heels are even worn.
These are like frayed and falling apart.
Dude, I don't even know what to tell
Why
you.
would these even be on the forefront of your mind?
I can't tell you my mindset.
Look at them, they're
I
pairing
wanted them
up.
back. I wanted them back. I wanted them back.
What's
and
the
that's-
brand?
The Thinstallation. I don't know, man. I just wanted them back. They
Like
were
I have,
mine.
I have a pair of wool socks that I bought probably
I'm not sure if wool's the right
10
material.
years,
for
but
that.
no, I bought like 10 years ago
Yeah.
for boots when I would go to Long Lake and it was really cold and like they were probably $10 and really warm, but if I lost them, I just buy another.
Hey, Cove, it's not really about the money. You got to understand, Covino is just one of those guys that like is OCD about his possessions. It's an odd thing. Like Covino's the type of guy that will say, "Did I leave blank at your place?" And it could be something that you're like, "You care about that?"
Yeah, because it's mine.
You owe Chris White Sox an apology for calling him Chris Holt.
I don't wear those every day. Those are his everyday socks.
No, but
These are ones that I wear just on the mountain.
where do you think you developed that as a young boy? Meaning,
From this owl song that I learned.
no,
back
but
in
I'm
the day.
saying, when did you learn your, like, you just said it before. I've never heard a 40-something-year-old guy say, because they're mine. Like, were you you were an only child until you were 8. I'm just trying to think of the psychology behind,
Because
why
I
as a
have
grown
to
man
go
do you
and
still
buy another pair when? Why would I have to do that when they're
I'd
there?
like to officially start the Steve Covino Insulated Sock Fund. If you have a pair of insulated socks, they can be used because nothing can be worse than these socks.
Yeah.
Send them to the above address. Just make
can't-
sure they're washed, please.
I can't psychoanalyze
Saying, Covino,
why
your dirty
I am
socks
the way
at
I
that-
am, but
No, but
I just can't believe that those are the things that we're worrying about.
Listen,
you know?
we all have our weird things about us. Clearly, all three of us, everyone listening has weird things about themselves. But I really am. It's got to be your childhood. I've never heard a grown man do the whole like, but they're mine. Like they're mine, and that you're so possessive over a pair
Take
of
pride
socks.
in your things, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's also like when you moved in with Jordan and with your ex-wife, you're like, this is my closet, my this, my that. Were you a very like my toys as a kid? Like I see Ben and Emmy play and we have to like, Emmy be like, it's mine. I'm like, no, it's not yours. You share with your brother. It's yours. It's not yours.
It's because he was an only child
Until he was 8?
He has only child syndrome, which is bizarre because he has 4 other siblings. But he has only child syndrome.
Do your siblings say things like, yeah, Steven's weird about his shit or no?
I don't know. Probably.
Like I have youngest child syndrome because I got hand-me-downs for everything. You have only child syndrome. You think everything is yours. You're very possessive.
It's so funny, man.
When you get him back, are you gonna?
By the way,
are you gonna smell him? No.
The guy is this big, fucking, massive, like military guy. When I say massive, he's a bodyguard. He's giant. He must think I'm the biggest buffungaloots he ever met.
Yeah.
You know,
Could you
this
believe?
guy fucking worrying about socks bothering me in my dinner. Fuck out of here.
I was climbing through trenches.
Yeah.
And this guy's worried about a fucking pair of thin slate socks.
clean my car with those fucking socks. Fucking bothering me.
Yo, you've
Just
had
took
those?
took his kid up to Mount Body about socks.
Someone pointed out. I don't know if it was Kyle or Will. Can you one more time on the socks? Because get a picture spot.
Yeah, man.
Because
One more time, these things are going to be popping up the whole show.
I can't wait till I
here's
get
the
it
great
back.
here's the great question though.
Yeah. Droopy socks run in the family.
No.
That's how my mom's look too.
Here's the pregunta. Here's the question. How
You know what those look like? You ever watch
what they look like? I don't know. Take a walk onto the 101 by a hobo's tent, and that's what's laying on the ground.
No. Like you know, A Christmas Carol, like the poor family. Like those are the socks they hang out by the fireplace. The
Cratchits?
That's the Cratchits.
That's Tiny Tim's socks?
That's Tiny Tim's stocking for Christmas.
You know, how they always have like really bad, like weak
Buy me a
socks.
goose, the
Yeah.
biggest goose in all of London.
Yeah.
Papa,
No,
why is my stocking empty?
it's okay, Tiny Tim.
That's how bad they look.
Santa hasn't come yet,
when you
Tiny
look
Tim.
when you look at those socks, you really got a fucking great use out of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever seen thick insulated ski socks that are on the brink of screen doors. You really got your money's worth.
That's
you got to be
even
proud
more
of that.
reason why I want them.
Look at them
You know
one
how
more
much
time.
fucking mountain I shredded up.
One last time, Spot. Have you ever seen ski socks that are
They're pilling.
almost
the
pilling
heels
that
are worn.
Like you might as well say,
That's
yo,
what I said. They're part of that's my gear,
Wait,
man.
are these socks gray?
It's supposed to be gray. Melody goes, I don't know if they were yours, Dad, because they were yellowish.
Yes!
And I'm like, nah, they're mine.
they're yellowish.
These are yellow, like brownish, grayish.
Oh my God.
Here I am getting mad at Melody, bothering the dad.
This is the worst sock scandal since 1919. Let's go to a Becker. I'm looking at socks right now, and I know you're saying, I know that you could get new ones. I'm looking at
They're not his socks.
I'm looking at like heavy duty ski
Got memories with those socks.
heavy duty ski socks, like, but we're talking like the high end Bombas ones are $30.
Yeah.
You know
Those
what
were
you can
probably
get,
though?
about 30
No,
bucks
no, it's
back
time to
then.
up. No, it's time to upgrade to electric rechargeable socks.
Really?
$70. There's a button on them, and you have there they heat up. You can get a 2-pack of ski socks for $18 on Amazon. But
I mean, look, she can't just give them to Melody to embarrassingly put into her book bag to appease her dad. I was kind enough to give Melody all my shit.
ooh, these look
I
nice.
just asked for it in return. That's all.
2 pair of heavy duty ski socks. These look like really thick quality ones.
Yeah.
$24 for a 2-pack.
The thicker isn't the goal here. It's the
Material.
thinsulation technology.
Insulation. Hold on.
Yeah, you don't
Insulation.
want your feet all fucking clumped up and they're all tight. But anyway, I had to share that story because I was mortified when I saw the evidence.
Oh yeah, thinsulation.
I'm like, yeah, it's like when they go to reveal a body, like, is it him? Like,
Oh, by the way,
that's him.
thinsulation, Thermalite ski snowboard socks,
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
$12.95.
Yeah, we'll see. I
don't
you
know.
can't put a price on those memories, though, Rich.
I had these during a ski trip in Monmouth when I was in college.
Yeah, so, oh man, I was embarrassed. So that's my story. Sticking to it.
Well, that was a good one. Hey,
Yeah.
I think that alone, hey, mark that down. Clip of the day.
Man.
Socks. Rashawn saying, I can't front. I got some old socks too.
Yeah, but do you reach out to other dads about misplacing your old
Let me
socks?
ask you a question about socks while we're at it, because we could talk about anything. That's sort of like the joy of our show. Never thought I was going to talk about socks today, but when you get a hole in a sock, is it immediate garbage, or do you try to get like You're like, yeah, fuck it. I'm just sitting around the house.
I had
One more
Jordan
wear.
sew one recently because there was a bomb. It was like a $30 Bombas sock.
You just happen to sip, so pull a nail or something, the type of thing.
Yeah, like there's nothing wrong. I was like, I have gotten to the point where when I see the screen door, I try to throw it away.
A Bombas sock?
But it was a Bombas
got for
sock
free?
that had like a hole, and I'm like, can you sew it? She was sewing some shit already for the dog. So I was like, you mind sewing my sock? I know I'm not as cool as the dog, but
Was she sewing the dog a sweater?
no, like he'll rip like an arm off like a toy or
raincoat?
some shit. And,
Yeah, because once a dog rips a dog toy, all that little stuffing shit comes out if you don't do a little.
So she was doing that. I said, you mind doing this for me? And so I'll try to save a sock here and there. But that's my story. I'm completely embarrassed, but I was really thankful. So
You know what? That's a great story though, because it really is a. I'm not even joking. It's a Larry David. It's a Larry David episode come to life. Come to life. That is such a Larry David.
By the
thing.
way, imagine this guy when he was doing his laundry though, because he said he washed them, right? Imagine he's opening these up and he's like, what the fuck are these? Who the fuck are these? And then here I am worrying about them. He probably pulled them out of the trash.
No.
So there it is. All right, thank you
Man.
guys.
Well, hey, glad you got your socks back. You're
No,
gonna
I didn't
back.
get them back yet, but fingers crossed.
I'm going on a ski trip. Can I borrow them? No. Responsible persons, some people you could count them.
See? It's got a ring to it.
I know.
You better teach Ben that song.
Goes in the tub.
Oh, yeah.
Responsible persons are people you can count on to be neat.
To be neat.
They know it's right to be
know it's
polite
right.
to all they meet.
Yes.
Responsible persons are people it's nice to have around. You can depend on such a friend I've found. So
It's a great song.
Lots of lessons to be learned.
Man. Covino. Your daughter at least got a good kick out of this.
No, I left her out of the embarrassment.
Oh, you didn't tell her you reached out?
Oh, I told her I was going to. She's like, yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, but she don't know
I'll tell you what. You did
she don't
that.
know about the evidence.
You know what I got out of that?
She just knew because when I gave them to her, they just rolled up in a ball.
You know what I got out of that? That the dad seemed like a cool dude. Based
No,
on his
he's
like
a cool dude.
sarcastic, funny responses. Like, you start to think to yourself like, oh man, all right. Like this is a dad that like, the more you get to know this guy, I'm not saying you need to be pals with him, but you'll trust him being around Melody and the girls and kids and stuff. So I don't know. I think it's just another fun interaction with you guys.
Yeah. I was embarrassed though.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Here I am, Mr. Successful, worrying about that shit. But I digest.
Everyone's allowed to worry about their own things. I think about that all the time.
I could break it up with a Mexican word of the day on a Taco Tuesday.
I think that's a great idea. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Mexican word the day.
On a Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I want to shout out Bob's Bald Head. Thank you, Bob's Bald Head.
By the way, your favorite Mexican restaurant that you and Monse Bolaños both love.
Yeah. And my daughter. My daughter was the biggest fan.
That place.
It was our spot.
We had talked about it for years on the show because we all loved it. One of the owners is a Covino Rich guy, right?
Yeah.
What are they putting there now?
A steakhouse.
They're going to, I was told they're going to knock the whole thing down.
Yeah, the place.
The place was called Tequila.
So
and
you
it
know
was like,
there's
there was
that-
at multiple locations.
There's that fancy Japanese restaurant, that new fancy Mexican restaurant. The same restaurant group is putting in a fancy steakhouse.
I mean, maybe it'll be a nice spot. Maybe it'll be a nice spot in the neighborhood that you could go to once in a while. But I know what you're saying. When they knock down your spot, it's like,
Yeah,
That's where I took my brajoles.
yeah. We later found out that that was one of spots like Rando.
Tuesday nights. I took
Rando
my brajol
night,
there
Rando
for Taco
spots.
Tuesday. Then I got on her taco.
It sucks. It really does.
It does suck. What's on your list? This will help my Mexican word of the day, though, like of things to talk about today.
Oh, you know what I want to
Cheese
talk? I want to talk about the dumbest reality show ever.
Oh, reality
Yeah,
shows?
yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, cool, okay.
Like fake titties? Is it a fake,
Fake
titty
titties.
show?
Oh, there's fake titties. Oh,
Perfect.
fake titties. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Mexican word of the day, courtesy of Brian Dennis, Bob's Bald Head.
Hi, Bob.
Mexican word of the day on a Taco Tuesday is stuffy nose. Like, like Rich, I feel like you've got a stuffy nose all the time.
My daughter, that was the reason why she was like worried about maybe not going to school today. She's like, I'm all stuffy, Dad.
She doesn't make that call.
Stuffy nose. Mexican word of the day. Rich Davis, he amazes me with the stuffy nose about fake titties. With the stuff he knows about reality shows.
I do know.
With the stuff he knows about these bets.
Stuff he knows.
With the stuff he knows. With the stuff he knows.
Stuff he knows.
With the stuff he knows.
Or
something.
Stuff he knows. Stuff he knows. Stuff he knows.
Stuff he knows.
Stuff he knows.
Thank you.
Stuff he knows.
He amazes me with the stuff he knows.
I love it. That's a good one. Stuff he knows.
About Full House.
You said teaser bets?
Yeah.
Stuff he knows. I got a teaser bet that'll knock your socks off. I'll save it for Fox.
How dare you?
Well, but I'll give you your socks back after I knock them off, though. My bad. Sorry. I know we're very sensitive about socks. So,
how do you know that guy, being a military guy, wasn't looking at those socks like, I could use those next time I'm out
when
there.
I'm in the trenches.
Yeah, these look like a good pair.
He was very mad.
He's like, these socks tell a story.
You
He
gotta ask yourself,
might have wanted those for all you know.
How do you know that? How do you know that he wasn't already thinking like, I'll use these next time? I'm like, yeah, you're right. You think there was a part of him that when you called up, he's like
battle worn. Yeah, maybe. Maybe he thought he got a free pair. Okay, so on a Taco Tuesday, it amazes me the stuff he knows about tease bets and fake titties.
And to answer Jim on the feedback, does a quote steakhouse have to be above Outback Longhorn level? In Sherman Oaks, yes.
It will be. Yeah, I don't think
in
it's a
Sherman
chain.
Oaks, yes.
It's not a chain restaurant.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying not like a chain in Covino's area would not do well. Because it's like a sassy or date spot neighborhood type of thing. So no I think an Outback Steakhouse would be like grand opening, grand closing. No one in the valley is going to fucking Outback.
I love Outback.
I love it too, but I'm saying, do you think an Outback would work in that area?
No.
Yeah, bro. I'm still looking at these socks. I'm so sorry because I'm so embarrassed. It's like remember
socks?
when the Wicked Witch of the East's socks
her feet shrivel up.
when they shrivel up under the house. That's how those things should disappear.
Look at those bad boys.
They just look so sad. Maybe that's why, because they're not with me. They're just so sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
So I have a show that I want to talk about because this is the most, I guess you would say, disgraceful. And it's not The Last of Us, which I thought was cool as hell. It's a great show. One episode, I'm into it, but again, like Covino said, I was tired, so I think I may rewatch parts of it. The Last of Us, the fungus show.
It's a show about zombies, man.
No, dude, it's not zombies.
It's about fungus.
People are going to call it a zombie show because what? Yeah, what's the alternative? It's a fungus show?
I have the Last of Us update during the Rando News.
So a couple shows are coming back that I'm excited about. How I Met Your Father with Hilary Duff, which won a Golden Globe. Hilary Duffy and her stuffy is coming back in a week. So season 2 of How I Met Your Father, which I enjoyed season 1. And during Monday Night Football, we all got to see the teaser for the new season of Mandalorian comes back, a new season of Mandalorian. So Mandalorian and How I Met Your Father, 2 shows that I enjoyed. So those are coming back. But last night, Sarah and I said, we've been watching a lot of heavy duty stuff, as my dad would say.
Did you watch the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker?
Not yet. We weren't. No, because we
He's
said.
innocent, man. I'm telling you, he's innocent.
You know why? Why did we not watch? Because Sarah and I have been watching a lot of heavy duty stuff.
Dude's innocent.
White Lotus, Walking Dead, Last of Us. Like, we're watching just a lot of stuff that's like very like fucking end of the world somber. So Sarah and I were like, let's watch the dumbest, silly show we could, just to be in a silly mood. And multiple people hit me up and they go, Rich, you and Covino watch Love is Blind. You talk about Too Hot to Handle.
Too Cold to Hold.
And all these like sleazy reality shows.
All the Ghostbusters.
Someone said, yo, Rich, the worst one of all, which might be TV at its lowest, could be MILF Manor. And I said, MILF Manor? All right, let me watch the teaser. Let me watch the trailer for this. And, yo, I don't know if Sarah wants to come in here and give her 2 cents. I'll ask her. But this might be the grossest.
Yes.
How does this air?
Yes.
These people should be ashamed everything about this is like, I can't believe this is on television. I'm not even joking. Like me to say this, Too Hot to Handle, all about like horny people.
Yeah.
Love is Blind, people that are marrying someone they've never seen. Crazy. 90 Day Fiance, yeah, fucking weirdos that are trying to find love, and it's like, yeah, I'll marry a random foreign person that I don't know.
You leave Big Ed out of this.
All these shows, they're all sleaze. But MILF Manor? Bro. Spot, can you show me a little trailer
I would love to.
of this? And then I may have Sarah come in to back me up on how absurd this is. Take a look. Cove. This is absurd.
Life has given me some curveballs. I think it's my time to find love.
I was married for 14 years. I want to get a chance to do me a little.
Young men have much more energy.
When
They
did the
think
MILF
out of
show up?
box. I want that.
Especially in the bedroom.
I am in this amazing, beautiful mansion here in Mexico. This is a perfect place to find love.
Where's her? She's a good one.
Welcome to the villa. You're about to embark on a dating experience like none other. Let's go!
I have an extremely high libido. Is that too much saying I have an extremely high libido? Should I just have said high libido?
Pause it, Spot. By the way, she's from Sherman Oaks, California, so maybe you see that
I feel
lady.
like I've seen her before.
Maybe you've seen her at
Wait
Ralph's.
a second. Hold on. I feel, honestly, that's why she looked familiar.
Maybe she does your yoga class.
What's her name?
Is that circus tits from the gym?
No.
Oh.
But here, can I give you
I'm immediately
Yeah.
recognizing like the double standard. Like if this was old creepy guys with young women on a show, people would have a big time problem with it.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Sarah has a big take on this, so maybe I will tell Sarah to... Sarah! So, there is...
When did the MILFs show up?
No. Here's the fucking catch, which is what you just said. Like, if this was reversed, if it was like old dudes that are like, I want young girls, it would
And
be...
exploiting these young girls like they're just a piece of meat.
There's nothing about these
In this
moms
way?
that I'd like to fuck.
Spot, you don't even know the twist.
Oh, there's a twist.
No, the twist is what makes it gross. Can I tell you? Because I don't think they tell you in the preview.
Oh, wait, can I just keep playing the
Yeah,
preview?
keep playing
I wanna
the
see
preview.
We got time.
Yeah.
Ladies, where's all the men at?
8 hot
I'm ready
moms.
to connect with somebody who doesn't really care how old I am.
What,
I'm
65?
just looking to have fun.
Can I go on the show?
One shocking twist. Pause it. What do you think the shocking twist is?
Oh, it's all each other's kids.
Bingo. It's all of their grown sons.
I knew it.
So all these MILFs are like, wait,
knew
that's
it.
my son. And she's like, that's my son. So all these women's
knew
sons
it.
are trying to fuck
I
the
knew
moms.
it. Oh, man. Is this hosted by Lisa Ann? Because it should be.
Dude.
Who gets stuck in the dryer?
What the hell?
It just got real.
So all these guys are like,
I knew
yeah, I
it.
think I'm gonna try to fuck your mom. He's
Man.
like, you don't you dare go near my mom. And the women are like, are you gonna like my son's 21 and you're 52? And she's like, yeah, but that's the point of the show.
Yes.
It's disgusting.
Yes, I am here for this, and I'm going to watch it. TLC? Is that on Hulu?
Sarah said that. She goes,
Is
I
it
want
Hulu?
No, it's on Hulu because it's
Thank
on
you.
TLC. Yeah.
Thank you, Rich. I will be watching this tonight.
It's all of their sons. And Sarah's like, do you know how gross that is? She's like, that would be like if I had Ben younger and Ben and I were on a sex reality show together when he was like a 20-year-old. Like it is.
Which one gets stuck under the coffee table?
As Monty Bolaño said,
You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes or something.
Or some things. On the first episode, like the big titty blonde one, it's like trying to take some brother to the room. And her son's like, Mom! She's like, I like sex, son. Like it is.
This is great.
That's something my mom never said to me, ever.
I mean, she has 5 kids.
Let alone on television.
She has 5 kids.
Yeah, but you keep your fucking private life private. When it comes to your children.
Stu, the learning channel.
They tricked all the women.
Good
And
God.
by the way, my question was, well, how did they not realize their kids? They were told ahead of time that they were on like separate reality show pilots and stuff like that. Because I was like, how do they not know they're part of this?
Well, I knew about this show because my brother signed up to be on it. But when my mom had to be involved,
Yes.
that's where it ended.
And we did think of your brother because I was like, based on the story your brother told,
MILF parties, yeah.
Based on the story your brother told behind the velvet rope that I can't tell here.
MILF parties.
Let's just say this show is up your brother's alley, and that's all I thought about. I was like, that would be like Tommy.
No, his friends are way into MILFs. My brother's not. His friends have parties. You know about this. MILF parties.
It's like, it is wildly inappropriate. And Sarah said, imagine if it was the reverse. Imagine if it was a bunch of 60-year-old dads with their 20-year-old daughters. That's like gross. But is it okay because it's older women and men?
I mean, there's a double standard, but it doesn't make it right. You know, if guys are going to be put in this situation where they're creepy old guys all the time, and they are, you know, doesn't make it okay that women are doing the same.
The first challenge, and I feel no shame in giving part of this away. You know what the first challenge was? You're going to think this is disgusting. The first challenge of the show was 2 of the people who were going to get the better rooms than everyone else. Like, let's say it's a resort.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wants the suite with the jacuzzi and the cool room, all the moms had to be blindfolded. And
they don't get paired with their own child, right?
Yeah, they share a room with their kid. That's why it's like, leave the room, son. Like, mom. Like, so they have to room with their mom. But here's how they decided who gets the best room. It was all the guys, all the 20-somethings were lined up, shirtless. Yeah. And the moms had to go over to the kids and feel their chest and abs and decide and pick which one was their son.
Oh, this is like how you think you could pick out your exes from a lineup blindfolded.
I think I could. It would be like being blindfolded and feeling up a bunch of people and deciding.
And people think Tom Brady's creepy for loving his own kid.
Coming soon to TLC.
These moms are feeling up their own kids.
Step sibling shanty. Can't wait for that.
So that's
step sibling shack. Step sibling shack.
I mean, I don't know if I could continue watching this, and I'm not even joking. I just think it's so done in like odd taste. Like it's creepy. There's something creepy about it. Like the one mom's like, "Well, I'm 52, but how old is your son?" "My son's only 20." "Yeah, but he seems very mature." "All right, I'm going to go on a one-on-one date with your son." Like,
it's the Botox.
It's peculiar, but all these moms are like, yeah, like I'm 50 or 60. I'm not like worried about like anything serious, or I'm not going to get pregnant. These women can't get pregnant, half of them, I'm sure. So they're just like, yeah, I just want to have sex with young, hot dudes. And the guy's like, yeah, I guess I'm down for older women, yo. And there's 2 layers. It's like all these women are like, yeah, I don't want you fucking my son. And all the dudes are like, yo, don't try to fuck my mom. It's I can't describe how oddly inappropriate.
But there is fucking going on.
I said to Sarah, I go, this is like our society hitting a new low. This isn't a dating show where it's a bunch of 20 hot people. If it's a bunch of 20-year-olds that are hot, it's like, yeah, I get it. Exploit them. They're hot and young, and they want to be on a reality show. The Bachelor,
yeah, but this
Love
is
is
why
Blind.
you have boundaries. And this is why you keep some sense of morality, because then it becomes a slippery slope, and this becomes the norm.
Where's the morality at all here?
My friend's hot mom works great on Pornhub, but on cable television, come on.
Yeah, that's what I said. I go,
come on.
It's like that's like
and you know me, I lead a very unique lifestyle, but
that of a pervert.
But this is a bit much. This is exploitative.
I think even a pervert like you would be like,
not a pervert. I'm just exploring the joys of life.
Yeah, but that is perverted behavior by definition.
This is a bit much. It's a bit much. It's like it's one thing for an older woman to hook up with a younger man, wherever it is, but to thrust mothers and sons in the same environment and then have them all just swap with each other, this is a bit much.
You are, by definition, you are a pervert, Spot. A person whose sexual behavior is regarded as abnormal. You're a pervert.
What makes it abnormal?
Don't play dumb. All right, let's see. I agree, Rich. Feeling each other's children up is ridiculous. Yeah, that would be like, just sounds ridiculous, but picture your mom blindfolded, having to feel the chest and stomachs and abs of a bunch of dudes, and to win a prize, she has to be like, all right, this is my son. It's like weird.
Yeah.
It's like, like Sarah said, it's like borderline incestuous. Like it's.
But you're also to blame for supporting this show.
Well, just like people are saying, swap the genders. If
you swap the genders,
it's a bunch of.
Sarah said it's like a movie, a show that should be like Chris Hansen should pop out.
Yeah, it would not be accepted.
Imagine it was a bunch of 60-year-old dudes. Sarah, imagine if you and like your dad Dave were on the show, and it's like your dad's like, yeah, I just want to bang a bunch of 20-year-olds, and you're like, I like old dudes. Like the other, if you flip it, it's the creepiest thing in the world.
Yeah,
and we're like,
I'm telling you,
convinced that this isn't all creepy.
Step sibling shanty is coming soon. Every room has its own dryer.
Andy Santino does a whole bit on that. It's like, when did porn become like all incestuous like that?
Like it's
when did that become the thing?
Gonna be insane. Like you're gonna room with your step sibling, and shit's just gonna. And there's gonna be all these challenges where you like do sexy things with each other to like make money, and then they're just gonna end up fucking. Step sibling shanty coming soon to TLC. Watch it on Hulu, streaming now.
Man, I just want to throw it out there. Now you may watch it, and I'm contributing to the downfall of society. But MILF Manor, just when you thought like, yeah, 90 Day Fiance, or like, man, Too Hot to Handle, these shows are wild, or Fuckboy Island, or whatever the hell you're watching. Just know that there is
It amazes me the stuff he knows about MILF Manor. The stuff he knows about MILF Manor.
You don't think the reality though is this is by far.
I'm going to MILF Manor for spring break.
You don't think this is by far top tier gross?
Yeah, man. I'm not watching this trash.
Like,
promise you that.
I'm all for women of a certain age taking control of their sexuality, and if the men of a certain age are willing to do that, that's fine. I see no problem in the age dynamic, even though these women aren't necessarily, I don't know, whatever. But
necessarily what?
They're not the most attractive.
They are very attractive.
They're not attractive
for 60-year-olds. On the show?
Like 60. It's like, to me, a MILF is like Sarah's a MILF. These are like just old women.
Yeah, but the show can't work.
Anyway.
Because someone that's 30 or 40, their kids are little.
I know. Anyway.
The only way the show works is if the people are like 50,
So
60.
I'm all for like the dynamic of age, but it's the other element that it's everyone's related. That's just gross.
Gross.
It's gross, right?
Or as my sister Dawn used to say growing up, disgusting.
Right?
Disgusting.
We agree that
I think it's disgusting.
We agree that that's the element, correct?
I think it's disgusting.
I think it's disgusting.
Right? Like we all have no problem with older women and younger men, right? Is that okay?
I mean, I think it's all a little perverted.
Well, I mean, if an older woman wants to have sex with a younger man,
I don't think any 60,
and the younger man wants to have sex with the older woman.
Bro, I don't think any 60. I don't think anyone around our parents' age should be having sex with a 20 to 30-year-old. Man, woman, anything. I think that's a little.
Why not?
There's a. Cause you know why? Because it's about power and other things at that point. It's not about
older women.
Come on,
older women are thriving these days. They're thriving these days.
Like, use your head, man. Don't. You know what is the problem?
Well, put it this way. Let's say Emmy's a 21-year-old woman, right?
Yeah.
Young woman, and she's with some 60-year-old guy.
Who is the?
How'd you feel about that?
That's not normal. Like we can't say things are normal. You can't just start throwing normal labels on things.
Who was the guy that was banging like their hot doctor or something? What was that?
There was a story about Shawn Mendes. And there was a rumor that he was with his chiropractor who is 50 and he's 20-something.
I don't see a problem with that.
I mean,
if you were the father of a young son, you might.
Yeah, I mean, Spot, you live a perverted life.
Yeah, but everyone goes, nice.
You're.
It's like that. It's like that South Park episode. Nice.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like.
I wouldn't want my son with some old
that's
ass
ridiculous.
pity.
It's not predatory unless they're like below a certain age.
I think that's incorrect. If there's a weird power dynamic struggle based on like the woman or man,
There's
like
always
taking
a
care.
power dynamic struggle. There's a power dynamic struggle.
If you can't understand what I'm trying to say, then the conversation should just end. If you don't think that
I understand
a 60-year-old and a 20-year-old,
but
there's a lot at play there.
There's plenty of older men that date younger women. There's plenty of older women that date younger men.
Yeah, and it's fucking weird in the big picture. Hey, I'm sure it works for occasionally a person here or there, but if you think
It
that's
is weird, but we live in a society where we try to normalize everything that's weird because that's this person's choice.
Like it's fucking whack behavior, but we have to make it seem like, oh, no big deal because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings. It's fucking weirdo behavior. If a 60-year-old woman wants to date a 20-year-old, it's a mental case. If a 60-year-old guy wants to date a 20-year-old, he's fucking out of his mind too.
How many times are there stories of like dads dating people that are their daughter's age or younger?
And that's fucked up. There's something mental about that. That
Why?
they haven't grown up. They're mentally mature. They're fucking weirdos. They got.
I would say there's rare exceptions, but most of the time there's some weird shit.
There's rare exceptions. This is not a 10 or 20-year age difference. This is a 40-year age difference. But this is not some.
Everyone's getting something out of the situation.
It's not some 40-year-old with a 25-year-old. It's not some 30-year-old with a 50-year-old. This is a 60-year-old with a kid that. There's a kid on the show that's 20 and he's like hanging out with a fucking 6-year-old. He can't drink. That could be his grandparent.
So daddy issues are hot, but mommy issues are not.
None of them are hot. They're all sort of fucking weird, man. It's perverse.
No, the perverse part of this. I'm sorry, I don't.
Everything?
No, the perverse part of it is just like how
that's
it's
because
everyone's
you That's
kids.
because you are a pervert.
No, I am not.
Based on the definition.
Fine. If you want to call me a pervert.
No, a
really,
pervert.
If you want to call me a pervert, great. Good for you.
With
all the perverted things you've done in your life.
If you think, well, first of all, I've never done anything close to the level of craziness that you've done in the last 6 months of your life. You had someone lick you and your wife's asshole at the same time.
Oh, you had a threesome with Tiny Tim.
I had a threesome with two. I was 20-something and I had a threesome with two 20-somethings. That's way different.
And we were all people of age.
This goes
we
back
were all
to
around the same age.
Do you know how?
How's that any different?
All right. Anyway, I just think this
it wasn't
show.
like we had a threesome with a 15-year-old dude.
Whoa.
Exactly.
There's a layer of the show that if you
it's like all of a sudden you're fucking high and mighty.
It's entertaining. It's entertaining, yes, because it's like this is a shit show. It's a train wreck, as they say. But if you think it's normal for a 60-something-year-old woman to think it's okay for her to date a 20-year-old college guy, if you don't think there's psychological issues going on for both,
Is it
of them,
about date? This is important to me. Is it about dating or is this about like a one-off thing? Like, are they just trying to like have a good time?
like the one mom you could tell. She's like older. The one mom you could tell.
Here's the one exception I could.
The blonde girl. You saw the blonde.
Like, let's say like two old ladies go out on vacation together, right? Some fucking young, hot, ripped-abbed cabana boy is there, and he's flirting it up with these old ladies.
Yeah.
They all go out, they fucking get their rocks off and have a great time. He's like 25, they're like 60. Yeah, it's gross, but it's like a fucking one-off adventure thing.
Yeah.
It's still gross.
It's how Stella got her groove back.
Some of these
But
guys,
it's just-
some of
it
these
is what
people
it
are saying
is.
they're trying to find love.
Okay, so that's weird.
No, they're trying to get their groove back.
That's what I'm saying. And I think we do live in a society where we're trying to normalize weird behavior just to appease the fucking creepy feelings of creepy people.
None of these women are trying to find love. They're trying to get their groove back. They're not trying to find love with these 20-year-olds.
Well,
that's the mistake.
When they do the interviews and the women are talking about how they're trying to find love later in life, then
no,
what you're saying is not correct.
No,
MILF Manor.
The one blonde woman.
Show.
The one blonde woman.
Yeah, just like everyone that goes on The Bachelor is trying to find love.
The one blonde woman is the one blonde woman.
Am I right, Steve?
The one blonde woman.
Can't wait for the new season.
The one blonde woman who's like a trainer type. She's the one that's in the most denial. She's like, seems like all she wants to do is connect and hook up with like younger dudes. She's like, I go to the gym and I train, and she's just one of those people that are like in complete denial that she's getting older. So she just wants to feel young by hooking up with young dudes at the gym.
Is that what like vampires do?
Yeah. I know. Just today, it's wild, man. If you want to watch it, just know that it's fucking crazy. It really is. Crazy stuff.
Take a stand, Rich, and tell people not to watch it.
Well, if people want to watch some weird shit, have at it. What age gap do you find too much? I think anything over 20 years. 20 years might be a good round number.
20 years is a lot. I mean, I feel like I am an exception. I feel like I'm in a situation where it's a lot.
What, 15?
It's 16, I think. 15.
Yeah, but you know what? That's why I said 20, because I saw someone
15
recently
and a
that
half.
was dating. It was like some young actress that was like 26, and she was with the dude from Scrubs, and he's like in his mid 40s. And I'm like, that's reasonable because they're in the same industry. He's like young for his age, and she's, that's different. These are, I mean, if you don't see the difference, then I just don't even need to explain it. If you don't see the difference between a 40-something and 60-something is way different.
I mean, I
As someone
do.
that's like retirement age, dude. That's not like. That's not
I
like.
tell Melody. I say, Melody, you know your age limit is 14. That's it. Bringing home no 16-year-old. Fuck out of here.
Yo, yeah.
1 year. Imagine if it's your kid. Imagine. You know, Melody's 21. She brings home some fucking, 47-year-old guy. Fuck out of here.
Imagine.
I would be fucking mortified. Like, what's your deal, guy?
If you want to go behind the velvet rope, which you could listen on your own, but if you want to know why some of, let's say, Tudmaster Tommy's stories are hilarious, because it's not your normal scenario. That's what made it so hilarious. Hearing your brother and his brother talk, it was only funny. What was funny about your brother, Spot, when he was like a 20-year-old and some older woman was like using him as like a sex doll?
Right.
That was not normal.
But it was transactional. And most relationships are, especially with larger age gaps, are transactional. Both people are getting something out of the situation. Like if I dated a 23-year-old or a 22-year-old, let's say, because let's go for an even 20 years younger. If I dated a 22-year-old, it would be I'm getting a hot young 22-year-old and she's getting an older established man with money.
Yeah, but you just said a 20-year age difference. And I said that in my mind.
It's the limit.
If you're asking me, because I really don't give a fuck, but if you're asking me, do you have an opinion?
Come on.
I'm going to say that's the limit.
Because 25, 45, like it depends where it's
like
at.
25, 45,
right? Like
55, 75
you
is
could be 45
nothing.
and hanging in there really strong.
Sorry, I can't go any younger.
25, you're a grown
Anything younger
woman.
than 22 is creepy.
Like that, I do think that's the
22
limit.
is creepy to me.
That's the point, Spot.
Honestly,
if you were
anything younger than 25 to me is creepy.
But it also
but
depends
that's
where
what I'm
they
saying.
are,
So
where the woman is.
Picture you're 20 years older, Spot.
It's also different. Like you should see the way men age versus the way women age. Like when I see women 45, they look like they're 65 to me on these dating apps. Like women age so differently.
Dude, I had a cousin.
My wife is an anomaly.
Yeah, because she's Asian. That's why.
She might be.
Asian don't raisin.
There's one Asian on the show, and she does look relatively young.
She's not really Asian. She looks Asian.
Man. So, hey, there you have it. A show that has taken reality TV to, I think, a whole new smut level. Just when you thought Too Hot to Handle or 90 Day Fiancé or some of these shows are a bit much, this show takes it to a new level.
What if your parent, your mother, let's say, had you when she was 18?
Okay. Which a lot of people do.
Which a lot of people do. And then you grow up, you're 21. So someone 18 years older than you is 39, 40. Is that inappropriate to date someone that's the same age as your mother? Even though it's still within the age gap?
Well, now you're like bringing...
Just quite curious.
Well, now you're bringing up...
I'm curious what you think is normal, Rich.
What I think is normal is probably what most it's probably what most people think is normal, but people don't like to talk in terms of normal anymore, because if you start talking about terms of normal, you insult people that do like weird things. Like if someone is like, "Oh, I think it's totally cool, totally normal to date a 70-year-old." Yeah, but you're 20. Well, I guess I should think that's normal. Saying that would be like Big Steve or my dad dating a 20-something-year-old woman. And you would be like, no, that's normal. Come on. I'm not going to stop anyone.
But if
I'm not going to protest, but
if there's a mutual like attraction, who are you to stop it?
I'm not going to be watching for sure. Only because I think I'm better than that. That's all. I'm not even taking a moral stance here. I'm just like not interested.
Hey, you're not. I was gonna say. I told Covino. I go last night. I go, dude, watch it just so you know what I'm talking about. And I think he was like, yeah, I don't even want to watch the fucking first episode. But hey, if you want to watch some crazy shit.
Like, how old was your mom when she had you?
21, 22.
Yeah, so this is pretty much like the same age gap.
22, I think. I don't know. Early 20s.
So there you go. That's what I watched last night after Tom Brady shit the bed. I watched Moms.
What does Tom Brady and Amber Heard have in common?
Both shit the bed. Bro.
Shit the bed, bro.
don't know if it was his receivers or Tom Brady, but there were times where he was throwing passes that no one was in the vicinity. And it's like, has this guy just lost it?
I love how people are speculating. I'm not 20 years older than my girlfriend, you dumb fucking tube sock wearing buffoon.
I mean, should you be the one talking about socks?
Yeah, really. Come on.
I mean, I'm trying to speak his language.
I mean, if anyone should.
I wear those to ski. I don't wear those like every day.
Come on, bro.
Those are his everyday socks.
You don't have the right.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous.
Look at these things. Look at they're yellow. They're frayed.
I don't need people defending my relationship based on this trashy show.
This has nothing to do with your relationship.
Yeah. No, I'm reading the feedback.
Well, that's a Bobo.
Yeah.
Don't worry about idiotic statements.
Perverts. Which brings us, I guess. Well, I'm trying to think if there's another show worth investigating. That's not too perverted like that.
Well,
Bachelor starts soon. Bachelor, I think, starts on. Did it start already? I think the Bachelor may have started this week.
No.
When does it start?
Well, hold on. The national championship was a week ago. So did it start the week after that? I think it might have. Are you behind? Is it Bachelor time or Bachelorette time?
Bachelor. But again, it's never good. So I don't know. May I suggest The Last of Us? I'll tell you more about it in the Rando News. Spotty, hit it. Rando News today.
Ooh.
Your post, Martin Luther King weekend, Tuesday, the 17th news. News.
People should use that diagram. Someone said tube sock buffoon is a great new way to insult someone. Well, look at you. What are you fucking, you tube sock buffoon?
That's the title of today's show.
Because Chris White Sox said that you gave a 20-year maximum age gap because of me. I'm like, it's not 20 years.
I gave it because I think it's the max. The max.
I think it's the absolute max.
20 years without getting like, really?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, hey, listen, there's
exceptions.
exceptions.
I already said I'm the first one that says, like, yeah, it's a little...
there's exceptions to everything, but...
It's a little drastic even in my situation. You would never know it. I'm just... You know what? I mean, if Jordan doesn't get a Three's Company reference, I'm okay. I could live with that. But it's still a significant age gap.
Yeah.
You know, she's going to be a young, spry 60. I'll be 75 and a half. I'll be ready. I'll be on my way out. On my way out. Time to go. Once you know, you go. So, in the Rando News of the day, Jake Paul and Tommy Fury set for February 25th, according to Ariel Helwani. So, that's a good fight because Jake Paul is going to fight a legitimate boxer. Your boy Joe Rogan will tell you that Tommy Fury's a legitimate boxer.
Is it actually going to happen, though?
I mean, this is
take three
times the charm. Yeah. So February 25th, all set again, according to Ariel Helwani. So you can't quote me on it, but it looks like it's going to happen. Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, likely in April. I'm hearing April 15th. I also heard April 17th, which I don't even know how is possible. Let me see that real quick. April 17th is a Monday? No fucking way.
Yeah, 15th is a Saturday.
But, you know, people talk so much shit. Rich and I, there's a trend here in the Rando News. Rich and I see so many discrepancies due to bad reporting. Like just errors all the time.
Like yesterday, we were looking up a story we're going to talk about today on Fox Sports about Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
And Covino goes, yeah, he's 43. And I go, oh, no, he's 41, I think. And then Covino goes, well, this says he's 45. And then we're like, well, this one says there was 3 different ages
Bad
for
reporting. One article started off Cliff Kingsbury, 43. And then in the article
said the 41-year-old.
41, like people are so fucking not diligent. What's the word?
Yeah, they're
very diligent, man.
Well, back in the day when reporting was taken, like,
it's a joke.
Reporting used to be taken more serious.
I did read April 17th, and I'm like, I think they meant the 15th because that was the original story. So Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia likely. De La Hoya put his foot down and said yesterday was the deadline. So they're still working that out. The Last of Us, we were just talking about what shows to watch. Last of Us scored the second biggest premiere in more than a decade for HBO.
I bet, because you know why?
Guesses. They had 4.7 million viewers for The Last of Us, the fungus show about the video game from 2013. Pedro Pascal. Anybody know who debuted higher?
On HBO?
Or, yeah.
In its history?
Yeah.
Wait, second highest
This is
debut
the
in
second
history.
highest debut at 4.7 million. What was the number one?
Oh, like debut.
Yeah.
Like first episode.
Uh-huh. Debut.
Game of Thrones.
One would think. I believe that debuted at 4.2 million.
Entourage?
Nope.
Succession.
I was shocked. That's why I bring it up.
Succession. Oh.
Californication. Was that Showtime?
Showtime. 6 Feet Under.
Remember when my brother met David Duchovny here on the show?
Yeah.
Can we pull that for the Thursday show if he stops by? Remember he asked him something stupid like, yo, do you pull so much tud, you? Do you remember my brother and Duchovny?
I do. It's not The Sopranos because Sopranos is too
Sopranos
early.
is still too new.
Yeah, it's not one that you would
hold
think.
on. Give me
Curb?
Give me a time. No, Curb is one of those shows that does well, but never has the numbers.
Well, I'll just give it to you.
No, give me a year, like a time frame.
Early 2000s.
Early, like so. Wow. Okay.
Early.
Early 2000s.
After Sopranos, though.
Yeah.
The Wire?
No.
It's not 6 Feet Under?
Nope.
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 Oh, no.
Real Sex 27?
Weeds was Showtime.
Weeds was Showtime. I love that show. That was a good one.
Wrong again.
It's not House of the Dragon. Not
Oz?
Okay.
Tell me.
The number one debut is Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, yeah.
But shocking, right? Like
I remember that show
got
being
the-
big.
no,
I watched.
but it got that much hype.
I watched the first season
You
and
know
sort of
why?
zoned out.
You know
Again,
why?
you
Because
can't trust the news according to the article I read.
You know why? Because it had Buscemi, and it was coming off the hype of Sopranos.
Yeah.
And it was almost like an old style Sopranos.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So Last of Us scored second biggest premiere in a decade, more than a decade, 4.7 million.
By the way, back to journalistic integrity.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue that now, back in the day, there used to be editors. Things were going to print. So you used to have to make sure things were much more aggressively checked. Now people are publishing articles on their own. Like they have direct access to publish articles online.
Like print. So press send. It's posted.
And no one wants to get everyone wants the scoop. Everyone wants to get the content out onto the next. So that's why things aren't checked as aggressively.
But you're right. There was two articles yesterday that gave the wrong age of Cliff Kingsbury. Just a silly example.
But typical. Happens all the time. It's like, well, I read it in this article. It's supposed to be credible, but it's not. There's a clip of Madonna and Jack Black making out.
Oh.
And it's going viral.
Madonna and Jack Black, huh?
Well, she put out a video, right? Madonna.
Well, she rediscovered her sexuality in her 60s. Maybe she should be on MILF Manor.
She's doing something called the Celebration Tour. So she put out an announcement video to go along with it. And in this video, she's making out with Jack Black. And also in this video, Diplo dips his junk in a margarita and then proceeds to drink it. So,
His own junk?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
No shame there. Better than someone else's.
I mean,
junk.
I once stuck my dick in the mashed potatoes. So
True.
You did.
And I didn't. That's from a song. It's from the Beastie Boys. From something else.
I want you to show me with this spread how you lick your husband's asshole. I mean butthole.
Jack Black. There he is.
Mind me saying, Madonna, I dare you to do a world tour and play your greatest motherfucking hits.
4 decades?
Yeah, bitch.
As in 40 years?
Fuck yeah.
We're talking
We're
like
talking
a virgin.
open your heart. We're talking tropical on the island breeze. All of nature wild.
Make out with Jack Black.
This is where I long to be.
La Isla Bonita.
That's a lot of songs. You think people would come to that show?
I'll be there. Well, I'll be there. Yeah.
Who is this roundtable consisted of? The most randos?
All right, so we got
Jack Black. I saw Lil Wayne. I saw Judd
Lil Wayne,
Apatow. Like,
Judd
who,
Apatow,
like
Amy
what is it like? It's like a
Amy
weird dinner party.
Schumer. Let's see. Eric Andre.
Like Eric Andre, Jack Black, Madonna, Amy Schumer. I think I saw Lil Wayne and Judd Apatow.
It's
Like
the
what?
announcement video for her Celebration Tour.
Yeah.
So that's what this is. I mean,
But she made out with Jack Black?
and she makes out. She's like
there's another
deep throwing
video.
his
Let me
tongue.
see.
Oh, jeez.
She makes out with
here it
Jack
is.
Black.
Do you think Jack Black does it to just be like, yo,
Yeah, you know.
I mean, what a weird thing to say you did.
Dare.
I want you to tongue kiss Jack Black right now.
Okay.
I wanted it. Oh,
When does Garth come out?
I am a different man.
Yeah, I'm also a different man.
Look at the unit on that guy.
Yeah.
Is that a show or just like a one-time round table thing?
It must be.
No, I know you're saying the announcement, but was it a YouTube video? Was it a show? Was it on HBO? Was it on Netflix? Was it just a viral video put out?
Yeah.
Like, what? How? Why are all these randos together?
I don't know.
Jeez.
So, kicking off in Vancouver on July 15th, the tour will visit multiple cities in the U.S. and Canada, as well as the UK and Europe.
You know, Spot and I had a clandestine conversation not too long ago. We were taking a ride. I said, what song you think means the most to Madonna? Is it like a Virgin? Because that wasn't her first song. Would it be like Borderline or Lucky Star? What was her first song? Lucky
I think
Star?
her first...
Like when she was like performing for the first time.
Like a Virgin sort of like was so controversial and put her on the map in a different
blew
way.
her up.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
when she plays like, will you be my lucky? Does that fucking, because you have to realize that probably meant so much to her because that was her first.
You know what also probably means a lot to her? Shit like music makes the people come together. Like
Madonna's...
What was her first
debut?
single?
I mean, Vogue.
Her
Vogue.
debut single. So her ever first released single was Everybody. Which song is that?
Everybody.
No, that's Black Box. How does Everybody by Madonna go? Hold on. Do I know this song?
See, so does that song mean more than we think? Is it her first hit? Is it like a Virgin because it's what took her to the next level?
Oh, I know this song.
It's not really a big hit.
Oh, yeah, but I know it. So this might mean a lot more than we think.
But this is her very first song.
Was Lucky Star her second?
Let me see.
But anyway, Madonna Celebration Tour, and man, what a career! You know, take away all the weird shit.
So was Everybody?
When was Material Girl?
Material
That
Girl was later.
after Like a Virgin.
Yeah, so Everybody was her first single. This is off her first album, Madonna. So Everybody, then Burning Up.
I'm burning up.
Wow, see, like those songs might.
Those aren't her biggest hits.
But it was a big. That was a good song.
Then Holiday. And then her highest charting song off that album, Lucky Star.
Okay, so that was her first big
Her
hit.
first big hit was Lucky Star. Then Borderline was next, but it charted lower. Then her first number one. Her first number one single off her next album, the title debut or title
Like a
track,
Virgin.
Like a Virgin.
And I remember seeing that album cover.
Madonna has 12 number ones. So Borderline peaked at number 10. Take a Bow was the number one song in the 90s. Vogue was the number one song. Music was the number one song.
Those are all later though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying let's look back. Holiday was it peaked at 16.
Crazy for You. Which was
Crazy
actually
for You. That was it was number one
It
song.
was number one, but it was a
song?
soundtrack song off Vision Quest.
Yeah.
Then the next number one. So then True Blue.
Used to Be My Playground was the number one song.
True Blue was probably her most successful because she had Live to Tell, Papa Don't Preach, Open Your Heart.
You know what's weird about Madonna? A lot of her number ones were number one for 1 week. Like, you know how sometimes it'll be like Black Eyed Peas had I Got a Feeling. It was number one for 18 weeks. Every one of Madonna's songs were like number one for.
She was competing with Huey Lewis. Bro.
Her longest number one.
Competing with Michael Jackson.
Like a Virgin was number one for 6 weeks.
Like a Virgin.
Oh, I'm sorry. A longer tenure. Her biggest hit based on how long it was number one. Take a Bow was 7 weeks at number one.
Take a Bow was huge because
Take a Bow. What is that?
Take a Bow. Take a Bow was huge.
Her ballads seem to have done well.
Of the video. The video era when remember it was that bull.
Lucky Star peaked at number 4. I thought that would have been a number one song, right?
I wish you.
Who's That Girl was the number one song.
¿Quién es esa niña?
That's from the movie.
That was from the movie.
All right, well, moving on.
That's
She's
another
got
thing
a
too.
stellar career.
A lot of her songs were driven either by the video or a movie.
Hey, good for Madonna.
So
She has a bunch
this
of
used to
fucking
be My
hits, man.
Playground was League of Their Own. I'll Remember with Honors. Great song.
The show is over. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. Late 90s. That was
she was in Evita.
That peaked at number 8.
Yeah.
Die Another Day from the Bond movie. That was peaked at number 8.
Right. Vogue was huge.
Express Yourself, number 2. True Blue peaked at 3. Material Girl never made it to number 1. It peaked at number 2.
Wow.
Then she had her whole
Surprise. Huge song.
La Isla Bonita.
I want to know
4.
An erotica face.
What Michael Jordan of a song prevented that from being number 1?
That's what I'm thinking. All right, I mean, look.
Because Material Girl was a huge video, huge song.
So wait, what is this?
Material Girl never reached number 1. That's amazing to me. That must have been like when fucking Beat It came out.
Material
Girl peaked at number 2, which you're right. It means Material Girl was at number 2.
Billie Jean came out that same week or some shit.
It was released in 1984, so I got to look at the...
Yeah, it was probably something off Thriller, guaranteed.
Had to be.
Because how in the world is that song not number 1? That was a huge song, huge video.
Oh, wait. Let's see.
I guarantee it's Michael Jackson. He's the only...
A lot of times when a huge song peaks...
84 is something off Thriller.
When a huge song peaks at number 2, there had to be a mammoth that kept it from number 1. Like, you're right. It had to be like Billie Jean or something where it was like number 1 for 18 weeks in a row.
Hang on.
I'll give you an example. You know that song that was huge on rock, pop, everything? Heat Waves, Glass Animals?
Mm-hmm.
Heat Waves. That was number 1. It finally made it to number 1 because you know it was number 1 for months. That fucking We Don't Talk About Bruno song.
Fuck out of here with that song.
So, yeah, it has to be something.
That was your example? That's the weakest song.
That's a great example, though.
Yeah.
Of Heat Waves.
But it prevented it.
Yeah, Heat Waves finally for 1 week made it to number 1, but everyone's like, Heat Waves peaked at number 2. I'm like, for months it was at number 2? Behind what? Fucking Bruno?
It's gonna take a little work.
All right,
Doves
you
Cry?
do that, and I'll wrap up the rando news of the day. Something kind of silly.
Will it help you if I tell you when it would peaked at number 2 spot? What exact day?
Yeah, give me the exact date.
What song are we talking about again?
Material
Girl was March 23rd, 85 was its peak. March 23rd, 85. And if you click on March 23rd, 85, it doesn't do me any good, though.
You want to know what the number 1 song in March 23rd, 1985 was?
Yeah.
You're never going to believe it. One More Night by Phil Collins. Prevented this from getting. One More Night.
Phil Collins was like, nah.
Madonna.
One Night.
One More Night.
The number 3 song was Can't Fight This Feeling by REO Speedwagon. What a sandwich.
You mean to tell me? You're trying to tell me that Madonna can get number 1 because of that shitty
One
Phil
More
Collins song?
Night.
Wow.
One More
One More Night by Phil Collins was the number 1 song when Material Girl charted at number 2.
Incredible. I love that
And it was
story.
stuck at number 2.
Yeah, it's look at it every week.
If you lived an MTV life, you know Material Girl played all the time. And Phil Collins said, nah. Phil Collins looking like someone's old Russian uncle. He was like, nah. Anyway, another just a rando story, like total rando story, but it stood out to me.
And it stayed. God, that song was on the number 1 on the charts for a while. And then We Are the World knocked Material Girl out of the charts.
And then that probably went to number 1 for a month.
And then that probably went to number 1.
We Are the World was a big one. That's a great reason to stay out of number 1.
So,
So then We Are the World became the number 1 song.
I saw J-Lo in the news.
Oh, yeah.
And
her and Ben and their kids are all moving in together. One big house?
No, it was, it was more stupid story.
Oh, that was a story I saw.
Get fuck out of here. She has twins. They're 14 years old, Max and Emmy. Or M. I don't know
Emmy.
their names. Max and Emmy.
Yeah. One of the only people that I was like, oh, yeah, Emmy. I didn't know that.
So you and J-Lo are the only people?
No, but I didn't know any, when you see Melody, aren't you always like, oh, cool, like Melody?
Yeah, of course. So J-Lo, most famously for portraying who?
Selena's.
So I was like, oh.
Anything for Selena's.
And the story goes,
just sucked her soul,
that her twins finally watched the role that made her.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
They're 14.
Yeah.
And they were shocked to find out. Selena dies, Mom? How in the world could you live under the same roof?
A long time ago.
Someone who portrayed Selena.
And did
They're
J-Lo say,
Latinas. You don't know that Selena died?
if Selena didn't
I
die?
found that to be ridiculous. I get it. They live a different generation, but give me a break. Their mom played Selena.
But their mom also has done a million other things.
Fuck
And
outta
they live a very Hollywood life, I'm sure. Like dad's Mark Anthony.
My kid knew Selena died.
Mom dated A-Rod and Ben, and come on.
If Selena didn't die, you'd be living in the Bronx right now.
I love the.
That's what she should have said.
Have you seen the Ben Affleck meme of him whispering to J-Lo?
Oh, yeah.
And he goes like, "You're not Selena. You're not really Selena." And then
she
she's
looks
all
all
mad.
sad.
Then she's all mad.
I never saw that one.
Yeah.
I saw him working
Selena had them kicks,
at a Dunkin' Donuts. I know Ben and all those East Coast Dunkin' Donut lovers.
Well, he was doing
a
for
bit for Fallon or something.
Oh, was it for
SNL
Fallon?
or something?
I thought it was for Super Bowl commercial.
Oh, it might have been. Yeah, he was working at Dunkin'.
I would have gotten to it in midweek major if I had time.
Well, that's your rando news, unless Rich has some other stories he wants to add.
Let's see. I have yet to watch that 2020 on the Idaho thing. I think I'm going to watch that tonight.
Cool.
A couple big birthdays today. Just a couple timestamps as we watch all the people that we don't feel are old get older. James Earl Jones still kicking at 92.
Wow.
Steve Harvey, 66. This is the one that confuses me the most because I know he's older, but I don't think of him as this old. Jim Carrey, 61. I don't know why I think he's much younger, but I know he's not.
I mean, I keep seeing clips of him on Johnny Carson for whatever reason, probably because it's his birthday week. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, he's been around a long ass time. He's on Johnny Carson.
Well, I'll give you perspective because the same reason I think Jim Carrey's not 61, I'm like, yeah, I feel like he's like 50 something, is the same reason I think this guy is older, but I know he's not. Kid Rock's only 52. Kid Rock's 52, Calvin Harris is 39, and Ray J's penis is 42. So, Spot, you and Ray J's penis are the same age. And that's it for that. Let me see. Any other news alerts? As far as news alerts, not really. Just a bunch, honestly, just
It
a bunch
amazes
of,
me the stuff he knows about Ray J's penis.
the stuff he knows.
The stuff he knows.
Jeremy Renner's out of the hospital and recovering.
Oh, good.
That dude that got hit at the very end of the game last night, concussion. Do you see that? He was like shaking on the ground. I don't know what they'll ever do with concussions and stuff. I guess the NFL's they'll figure
Violent sport, man.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is.
They have to know what they're signing up for.
Yeah. I wonder if that'll discourage people from their kids playing football.
I mean, nothing new.
No, but it's newer than it used to be. I mean, I know it's nothing new, but if every year we start to see more and more injuries like that, will people be like, yeah, maybe I don't know if my son should be playing football?
Yet people live and die by the NFL.
Yeah, it's the number one sport. Did you see that? It's the NFL, this is a fun fact. The NFL, of the 100 most watched events in the year 2022, hear me on this. Of the 100 most watched events on television in 2022, 88 of the 100 were NFL games.
Number 89 was me revealing my new lifestyle.
Yeah, that was one of the 12. It was like you and NCIS. Today's a big day.
NCIS sucks since Mark Harmon left.
Today's a big day. If you feel that maybe I'm a little off, it's because Chris Lee starts his jail sentence today.
I noticed you were. Yeah, I noticed you were a little sad.
I don't know anything about that guy.
Is that why you wore that sad ass Tiger shirt again?
I haven't worn this in a long time. This is at the bottom of the pile. I broke this bad boy out.
Keep it there, bro.
Brooklyn Rumble. This is a great shirt. This is a fucking nice shirt.
It represents that big gang fight he had. That's
yeah,
why.
the Brooklyn Rumble of 1998. Fuck you. Todd and Julie Chrisley, their lockup begins. I don't know anything about this guy. What was this show about? He was a real estate agent, right?
I don't know. All I know is that
all I know is he was a sassy dude that pretended. He was so gay, but he was like, I'm straight. I don't know anything.
Big whistly gay.
That's why I always find it funny when you guys would joke like, oh, Rich, you love Chris Lee. I went along with it, but truthfully, I don't know a thing about him. I think he's real estate reality show, right? Where he's like a sassy dude, but he's straight.
It's like his family and like his mom and his kids.
They really made an example of this guy. I know him and his wife are all about this crazy tax and bank fraud. And this isn't one of those cases where someone didn't pay their taxes like Shakira. This is where like him and his wife had schemes. Him and his wife had schemes to like outsmart people. Like there's a reason he's getting like 10 years in lockup. This is not like, oh, Chris Lee didn't pay his taxes. This is like convicted of bank fraud, tax evasion. Like he had people lying and siphoning money. And this is like not, you know what I'm saying? There's a difference between, oh, my accountant didn't pay my taxes. I believe that's Shakira's story, right? She has all these back taxes. Shakira's back taxes are all based on like she's saying her accountant didn't.
She's got back taxes.
Oh, she definitely does.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah,
but,
she does.
But you don't see, I mean, of course you do. You see the big difference between didn't pay taxes properly and Chris Lee and his wife were scheming. It goes back to like when Lori Loughlin went to jail for a few months. Like, you know, you do the crime, you know, sometimes you have to go to jail
play
for
stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
I mean, like I
Thanks, Monty.
can't believe that when you look back that Lori Loughlin actually went to jail. It's crazy, right? I mean, she schemed people.
Crazy.
Scheme people. But yeah, Chris Lee, this guy, I mean, imagine you were facing 10 plus years in prison. That's like wildly crazy. That's not like, yeah, slap on the wrist. You got to be in jail 6 months or something. That's something you might be able to get through.
What do you think he's going to do to assert his dominance the first day in
I don't know. Bend over?
Probably join the fucking La Onda, I think.
La Onda, yeah.
He's going to come out of...
He'd be like, yo, I might be white on the outside, but I'm brown on the
Yeah, imagine
inside.
Chris Lee comes out
To
and he's
the
all...
bone.
Imagine he has like a face tattoo or a neck tattoo and he's all vato on that. Like, yo, I'm Chris Lee. Pensacola. They gave a little map of his thing, the visiting yard, the parking area, the little place to sports and volleyball. Who knows?
Maybe he'll be one of the AVers. Yo, one of the AVers.
Jeez.
The Aryan Army.
Jeez. So, yeah, that's about it, man. That's all I got in the world of news today.
Man, lucky I brought that sock story to the table.
I got other things, but the sock story really did deliver to me. I'll give you that.
I have shout outs to give. Want to hear a funny story?
Yeah, I want to hear a funny story.
Is it shout out time?
Yeah, this is kind of shout out time.
Yeah, and I'll
Doesn't
save
mean we
some of these.
Doesn't mean we have to wrap it up.
I'll save some of these things for tomorrow then.
So our very own Carrie Kuhnman, who we love, right? Carrie Kuhnman. I put a little Kuhneman, or is it Kuhnman? Kuhneman. Carrie Kuhnman.
I love Kuhneman. It's good. It's great and like
love Carrie Kuhnman.
Sweet dishes.
She's, I mean, the story as I know it is like she's in the Cayman Islands with Poufador Paul, right? Poufador Paul, great guy, stands out because of his Poufador.
Rich went to the Cayman Islands.
And
I went to the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, he did. Oh, the jokes are still funny. And
They just don't hit the same way.
Oh, they do.
And
they don't hit the same way.
Is it Spot Love's Penis now? Is that the new song?
Well, I'm saying like it doesn't hit the same way.
So Scott Smith is also there in the Cayman Islands.
Scott Smith.
And he looks at them.
Lead singer
Maybe
of
she's
Creed.
at the desk. She's like, yeah, I'm here to check in for Carrie and Poufador Paul. I don't know how it went down.
Probably
He's
that.
like-
Probably said
He's
Poufador.
like, hey, are you Carrie Kuhnman from the Covino and Rich show? She's like, yeah. She said, so she met a listener that recognized her name
just based off of like feedback and shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
from the show. So
Wow.
shout out. And she said that they talked about us, and he's such a huge contributor and supporter of what we do. So shout out to Scott Smith of Arizona.
Scott Smith.
Yeah, and
who happened to
apparently-
be in the Cayman Islands.
And then he realized that like Poufador was his boss.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
his,
yeah.
Is like superior.
Well, Poufador Paul is like big dog.
But then he was like, wait a second. My boss is the Poufador Paul that they're always talking about?
Yeah.
Poufador Paul is the guy that runs my company?
Pretty much.
Oh,
That's
man.
the story. So small
Does he
world
get
situation.
Carl special privileges now?
But I think that's awesome. So
Maybe.
shout out to all of them.
Maybe.
Shout out to
Scott's going to get a
Scott's-
bonus now
yeah,
just for
good.
having good taste in podcasts.
Better up his subscription.
Carrie Kuhnman, Poufador Paul, and Scott Smith from Arizona. All in the Cayman Islands for work, I guess. And a shout out to all the Chris's and the Adam Tryons and all the Stews and everybody hanging out with us today. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the feedback. That's my shout outs of the day.
Nice, man. You know, Sarah did a really, really nice thing this morning. I don't even know what happened.
So she cleaned our desk with water.
Yeah.
That was nice. It hasn't been
That was
cleaned.
really, it hasn't
Sarah
been
was
cleaned
saying
since
that,
we
moved in.
started.
Sarah was saying that like one of the old ladies in the neighborhood we know took a fall, and Sarah like had a call. Sarah went to take her to the ER with her husband, and because she was walking her dog and fell, and yeah, because when I was trying to call
I think
Sarah,
I know that old lady with the little dog that lives next door.
no, not the little dog. This is like one of the neighborhood ladies that everyone knows.
Oh, I see. It's the same lady walking when I'm coming in the morning.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I mean, it makes sense because everyone has their own habits. But when I drive Emmy to school every morning,
yes,
I see the same people at the same points of the block.
Yes,
every morning. But I'm saying, like, I have a schedule. I'm bringing my kid to school. Like, these people must be like 7:52, time to walk the dog. Like,
yes,
I told you the story about my dad singing that song about the mom with the big titties. Remember?
Yeah. How does that go again?
You'll remember as soon as I say it. There was a Portuguese mom. Every day we'd pass her, walking her kid to school, and he goes, "There she is, Mrs. Big Stuff.
Oh,
Mrs. Big Stuff. Who do you think you are?" Every day, man. She'd be in the same
Mrs. Big
spot.
Stuff.
Big Stuff. And then it dawned on me what Mrs. Big Stuff meant. He's like, oh, because she got fat tatties.
Mrs. Big Stuff.
That's why Dad calls her Mrs. Big Stuff.
No, but it's. I mean, I'm not breaking the glass.
You were looking at Mr. Big Stuff.
I'm looking now for Mr. Big Stuff.
I'm not breaking the glass on anything, but it is pretty interesting to think that, yeah, when you have a schedule, I get it. Because like, the kids have to be at school at 8 and you got to start your job at this time. But
people have a crazy schedule.
But I'm talking about like people that
I have a crazy example of this.
Like, that's why when life sometimes feels Groundhog Day-ish, it's like, all right, get in my car. Spot that old lady that walks her dog.
Mm-hmm.
You catch her, I guess, on the flip on her way back, because without fail, when I'm back out of my driveway, I live on a street that no one really pulls down because it's not a street, it's not a cut through street. So I usually just pull right back out of my driveway. I look, but like 99.9% of the time, no one's behind me. That old lady walks her dog at the same time. I have to stop and be like, go ahead, old lady.
On a schedule.
Same people walking their dog. Yeah. Same dads parked in the same spot. I make a right. Same. I
Creatures
feel
of
like
habit, yeah,
bro. It is. I mean, and people could say, "Oh, I see that same SUV driving their daughter every morning." But
dude, it's so specific. I got. This is so wild. It's every day. So every day I get into Fox Sports Radio way before these two clowns, right? And I'm just hanging out.
Casey gives a great example. He sees the same exact stupid Subaru on the road going slow in his lane every like how am I on the road at the same time every day? Like, how do I see the same car? Are we that on a fucking schedule? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's wild. So I get to Fox Sports Radio. I say my how do you do's. I say hi to everybody. And then I go, and it's like clockwork, bro. It's like clockwork. I grab my little styrofoam cups, and I go to make my coffee, and the maintenance guy is there.
Washing the dishes.
Cleaning the sink. At the exact same time, I go to make my coffee every day. I'm like, this dude must be on such a little alarm schedule. Like, it's 1:30.
It's 1:20. It's 1:23.
1:32. Time to clean the sink. And I'm like, hey, it's 1:32. I just got here trying to get my coffee. Oh, he's by the sink now. Every day.
Yeah.
His name's Augusto. For 4 months, I called him Gusto.
I told you when I
didn't know it was
was
Augusto. I thought it was just Gusto, like that was a nickname.
when I was living in Hoboken, Stanley T and I always used to joke that we would see the same people in the same subway cars, at the same line of coffee, at the same newspaper stand. The same person would be in front of us at the, we're all on a schedule, but it is wild how every day without fail, it really is Groundhog's Day. Like, oh, I'm going to walk down to the subway. Oh, there's the old lady, the black dude, and the Hispanic guy that brings his bike.
And Mr.
All right,
Stuff.
we get off the thing. All right, we go get a coffee. Oh, the old lady with her dog ahead of us. And then, it's
When you say her dog, it's like Mexican
her dog.
friend?
Yeah, like her dog.
Like Danielle Javier Feets?
Yeah. So, yeah, Sarah saw an old lady fall and had to help her get to the ER and all that stuff. So I'm excited to hear how that wild story went this morning.
That happened today?
Yeah, just now. So, hoping she's all right.
When you feel bad, you know how Sarah came here and spilled that water, or you spilled the water?
Yeah.
What if she took the rest of the cup, right? Threw it outside and it
That's
just
what
froze.
Whoa!
It just froze.
The lady
and
fell
that's
down?
why the lady fell.
I heard that's the reason why.
Series of unfortunate events.
Yep.
Man. So, hey, everyone have a great Taco Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Tacos. Oh.
Now, tomorrow, I do want to talk about couples vacations.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about...
Spot taking a vacation in Italy.
Yeah.
with his friends. Carmine and Nunzio.
Yeah. Going with Michael Imperioli and his dad and son.
And Abraham, whatever the fuck his name is.
F. Murray Abraham.
F. Murray
F.
Abraham.
Murray Abraham and
Spot's
Spotter.
putting the F in the F.
There-
Murray
yeah,
Abraham.
he's supposed to go to the White Lotus in Italy.
I have two friends that are
Yeah.
that want to.
He's going with Cameron.
It's a couple's vacay, right?
Spot and Kristen are going with Cameron and his wife.
You said it's a couple's vacay.
No, it's a wedding.
No, you said you're going with your friends. You
No.
said that shit yesterday.
No, I said I went to dinner with friends.
Oh.
But the friends that we went to dinner with are the ones that are getting married in Italy.
Oh, Italy.
Italy.
It's like, how could I turn down a destination wedding in Italy?
F. Michael Abraham. Is it F. Michael?
F. Murray.
F.
Abraham.
Murray.
That guy was great.
Amadeus.
Yeah, he was awesome.
The Godfather took place right here.
He also took a fall.
He did.
Yeah.
In the White Lotus.
No.
Yeah, people just hit there. People just, old people fall. It's part of life. As Andrew Santini said in his special, if Kamala Harris really wanted to be president,
Andy Santino said
little,
that too.
Yeah, Andy Santino
What'd I say?
said it.
Santini.
Oh, Santino?
Santini.
Andrew Santini.
Santino.
A little.
Tuscany, Tony.
Tuscany's
Tuscany.
beautiful. I like their chicken. That Cheesecake Factory.
I know you do. That's where it's from.
I should go there. Be like, do you guys have the Cheesecake Factory chicken from your place? From here?
Here it's just called chicken. Right?
The
Here,
Tuscan chicken at
the
Cheesecake
chicken
Factory?
I want the chicken.
Bellissimo.
Well, on that note,
In Tuscany, it's just called chicken.
have a great Tuesday night. I don't know what the hell I'm going to watch tonight.
MILF Manor.
I already watched the first episode. There's no football. There's no nothing.
You could watch The Last of
Maybe
Us.
I'll
or
watch
the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker.
I think I might watch the Hitchhiker movie tonight.
Or,
And will I draw the same conclusion as Covino that this dude's innocent?
innocent, I tell you.
I guess we'll see.
You know why? Because the fucking guy is a pervert. There's
That's
a
a
pervert involved in the story. But they don't really dive into the pervert.
If you don't dive into the pervert's actions, how do you know if he's all innocent, right? You'd be doing some perverted stuff. So enjoy your Tuesday. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land.
Goodbye. Toodles.